Hi everyone.
How are we doing?
How are you doing this -2 freezing cold Friday night?
Haha.
I see some of you have got your log burners and everything on.
Yep. We can say and we can answer. One of the questions that's already been asked today.
Yep.
Yes, we now have heating. Well,
Yes,
we have heating anyway.
Yeah, we have diesel heating now.
Yep.
So yeah, we're all good. We're not going to freeze to death because we're going to run out of LPG.
Yeah, I mean that was the biggest thing. I mean I know there's still places. I mean it was 16 miles away or something is the closest LPG, and it's pushing it a little bit. But we're isolating. We can't move for. Oh, shut me up.
Shut you up.
You've been trying for years, haven't you? Yeah, we can't. Obviously, we're isolating until the next Thursday or
21st.
Yeah. So we can't go anywhere to get gas, which has been really worrying us. So that's one thing less to worry about.
Now we've got that sorted out, and another little thing, we had power issues. Obviously, no solar whatsoever, especially when you got a dusting of snow or a little bit of snow on the roof, so we sorted that out too.
Yes.
You can find out more in a upcoming video next week, and I'll go over everything else about fitting diesel heaters and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to bore you now, but that's John's favourite thing. You'll find out more in next week's video.
Coming soon. It's like Top Gear.
I just want to say thank you to our lovely spanners who've joined us this evening. So we've got Tash and Em and Lou.
Yeah, thanks guys.
So thank you very much.
And hello everyone else who's joined us.
Yes, so nice to see everybody's
having a lovely evening so far.
Yeah, and have beer. I've seen a few things.
Yep.
Kev's on the Carling. Uncle Kev's on it already.
Yep, you're on San Miguel.
San Miguel.
And I'm on not Aldi Coke and not Aldi.
He's on Jack Daniels and Coke. Literally, just that.
So, some initial questions left over from last week's video in the comments. So we'll run through those first, and then we'll pick up on the questions you're asking right now. So the kind of most common statement some people made was they were really looking forward to our Portugal kind of videos and trip around Portugal, and obviously we were too, but so I don't know if you've seen the news, but Portugal's going into a full lockdown now, so we did get out there just in time.
And they've stopped flights from Portugal as well now, haven't they? Which makes us insistent of doing our proper isolation, because if it's that bad there, then we want to be very careful. Yep,
too right. So I just wanted to say, if you were looking forward to wherever and all the stuff that we got up to in Portugal, we were actually there around January, February time last year. So we've probably got about 4 or 5 videos of us being in Portugal and going around Portugal that you can have a look at. So just go to the videos tab on our YouTube page and just scroll down till you keep seeing January, February till last year, and it'll go through all that. Obviously, moving on to related questions to our epic drive home. How much did we spend to come home? So I've broken this down into channel, tolls and diesel. So first of all, we spent £340 in diesel. That was pretty much from, like say, the bottom of Portugal to the Midlands where we are now. So yeah, quite a hefty lot, because we were trying to work it out. Would it have been cheaper if we could have got the Santander ferry, which we couldn't have done because it didn't sail till Wednesday, and at the time we were thinking Wednesday would be too late, so we needed to get home for sort of Monday, Tuesday.
And me and Coop have not got sea legs.
No, you and Coop in the ferry, it's not going to be good over, what is it, a day and a half?
30 hours I think it was, yeah.
Oh, so it's 2 and a bit days then?
Yeah.
Or 2 days thereabouts.
Yeah.
So yeah, we decided we were going to drive it anyway, so we were trying to balance the cost of a ferry, which is about £580, with our own costs of channel, tolls and fuel. So like I said, we got £340 on fuel. It cost us £7 in Spain for tolls and £96 in France for tolls, and £196 on the ferry. So I think you can quickly work out there that it's pretty close actually, whether you drive it or whether you get the ferry from Santander. Obviously, to get from the bottom of Portugal to Santander would have still cost us probably in the region of about £150 on fuel, because it's pretty much length and breadth of the top to bottom of Spain. So another one people were asking about, how do we cruise on the motorway? Have we got cruise control? Yes, we do, and we do use it. We usually stick to 60 to 65 miles an hour, which is about 100 to 115-ish kilometers an hour. And that way the van gets quite comfy, it's not too noisy, and you kind of going with the flow of the traffic then, you know, there's not having trucks come hammering past you, but you're not screaming past everyone as well. And the average MPG that we get on the motorway is about 35. We get less obviously if we're going up mountains.
Or if I'm driving for some strange reason.
Yeah, it does seem that she's got a more erratic right foot.
What word you using? Okay, just careful now.
So yeah, there we go. Another question we had last night was where do you call home? Given that you are, you know, obviously don't have a house, and we just called like the UK home really. So when we said we were coming home, we were just coming back to the UK. Anywhere which we sort of like park up in the UK, we say is home really. So
yeah, I think the UK is always going to be home. A lot of people are going, no, what do you want to go back there for? But it is our home, our family. All our favourite people are here.
Yes.
So this is exactly where we're going to want to be. Because the more we're here, the closer we are to everybody.
Yeah.
Even if we can't go see them. And then somebody said, I didn't write the name down, someone said if we had any, oh, it was Laura, sorry. If we had any family coming in saying hi through the windows yet. But
no.
We're so far away from all our family. And obviously there's no travelling. And we're not going to get people to travel. I had a video chat last night anyway, so
yeah. Now this time round, obviously you probably watched our lockdown videos from last year. If you've not, go and have a laugh at them. But we decided that if we're going to be locked down this time, we want to be locked down in a remoter location as possible, so we're not getting bothered by people that are just bored or fed up on that.
Yeah, we had the police called out on us so much last time, and that was just so we could be as close as we could be to family.
Yep.
And of course we had a word, and Jem, our daughter's just like, don't worry about it, I can't possibly have you having to put up with all of that again this time. So yeah, we're out of the way, which is lovely.
Yep. And the last question a lot of people asked was, did you get your passport stamped on the way out of France? And yes, we did, and it said left. So I would imagine.
What was it? It was left Coquelles, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, left Coquelles.
So Coquelles is I suppose it's the place where Eurotunnel Calais is, or Coquelles. So every time you enter and leave EU region now, you're going to get a stamp in and a stamp out. So I'd imagine it'll be arrived and where you arrived, and then left and where you left, and then it's between obviously you and us to remember those dates, to keep a track of them, because they'll be logging it at their end. It was all scanned in on computers and stuff like that. So right, so that's the predetermined questions done.
Yeah, and I've been furiously writing.
Yes.
With a pen and paper. This is like the this is the thing that John doesn't like.
Anti-tech.
Yes. It's to go through. By the way, I'm assuming it's M saying that she loves my jumper. Of course, because we were together when we bought my jumper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been told I've got to try and find a Freedom Cola one now.
Oh yeah, okay.
I've got to change a little bit.
Where was that
branded.
from? It was.
That was Stradivarius in
Ronda.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool.
All the way from Spain.
Oh, the days when it was warm. So we had a couple of other questions. One really interesting one, because we haven't mentioned this at all, but somebody was mentioning about delamination of the floor
in the kitchen.
Yeah, and ours did about a month ago, which we're going to get looked at.
We found it on the day that we did the kayaking, when John finally got in the kayak. So that video there, on that night, we found that the floor had started to delaminate.
Yeah,
in the
so
kitchen
just
area.
at the bottom of the stairs where the beds are, and just between the bathroom and the fridge, we've got a tiny little raised lump. When you step on it, you can feel it going up and down. And as I fitted the diesel heater today, when I was chopping through the floor, there really is such a tiny layer on top, and then it's all different layers of fiberglass and foam underneath. So it's not like it's laminate that's delaminating. It is the top fixed surface coming away from the foam underneath.
And John knows about the floor today because he's drilled massive holes in it.
Just said that, dear.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading. It's like having your gran in the room, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
There's some questions to be going on with.
Can I read your writing?
Probably not actually. So there's one for you. When is John going to do some cooking?
When is John going to do some cooking? Wow, that is that's a question and a half. That.
Yeah.
I did make crumpets on Mandy's birthday.
That's literally been it. And if I must say so, every now and again it's a lovely surprise, absolutely brilliant. Every now and again he'll get me a bag of crisps from the kitchen.
Oh, some biscuits.
And some biscuits.
Or chocolates out the fridge.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Not all the time though, you don't really get used to it now, do you?
No.
No.
I can't be expecting you to drive up those mountains all the time.
No, and that's why it was only every now and again when I was very, very scared. So I must admit the 4 hours drive back on the motorway, most of the time on the toll roads as well. I am such a wuss when it comes to driving. John will be like, I'll be napping in the seat and he goes, oh, I've had enough now, can you have a drive? So then I'll pop out, I'll like swap over and I'll have a bit of a drive. And normally within an hour I'm like, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
But like I was singing to
well
music
time,
and did 4 hours straight. That's like a new record
I
for me.
think it is, yeah. So,
4 hours
that's
straight.
fine.
I just had to keep waking him up for all the toll roads. Bless him, because
Yeah.
every time we go to sleep,
Wrong
it's
side
just
of the
like,
car for that, isn't
yeah,
it?
it wasn't particularly good. Although he's a grumpy bug, he'd wake up and he's like, man, I think you're a bit too close over here. And do you know where the middle of the lane is? Can you tell from your side where the middle of the lane is? That was the furthest one, and he literally got.
I don't know if you do drive in Europe, you'll notice that all the Europeans, obviously they sit on the left in the car because they're weird, and the steering wheel's on the left as well. I don't know why, but they actually hog just over the white line, so they're actually straddling both lanes. So Mandy was copying them.
I knew where the middle of the lane was. I just didn't want to drive in the middle of the lane.
Anyway, what does that say? I can't read your writing now.
That says
New Hector.
New heater. We've already answered the new heater question.
Yeah, we've done that one.
John Cooking. Explain.
Explain Rozzers.
Rozzers.
Well, Mandy can explain Rozzers.
Yes.
Yes.
What was the guy's name again?
Robert Peel.
So,
yes.
Rozzers, and I had to double check that this wasn't like a defamatory term in any way because I didn't want to do anything like
you
that
want to
out
upset
there.
Anybody.
No, but we've had a few people comment on when I said the Rozzers, and there's been a couple on here already. So basically, Sir Robert Peel set up the first police force in Yorkshire, and it was in Rosendale. So the police force in Rosendale was referred to as the Rozzers. And that's where that comes from, and obviously is not a derogatory term in any way, shape or form.
No.
So there you go.
Quite a cool story.
History on a Friday night, and if you
There
didn't want to know that, you don't want to learn anything new. It's all good.
Go on then, what does that say? Tyres?
What does that say? Tyres, jokes. People saying never missed anything about tyres. Yeah,
Oh, right.
which is jokes.
Okay.
However, something about, did we need to alter the suspension?
No, we didn't. No part of the tyres are catching anywhere on the front wheels that obviously turn. And on the back, I don't know if you know, some motorhomes on the back, the wheel width or wheel track is wider than the front to give you a bit more stability. Usually only about 5 or 6 centimeters. So your rear wheel track is slightly wider than your front wheel track, and ours is like that. So I was worried that the tyres would catch on the inner part of the top wheel arch, but now I've got about 5 or 6 mil spare, so they don't catch. Not made any adjustments on the suspension. And everything seems to be perfectly okay.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's Lou asking now the tyres working out. What, on our van that we have? Oh, that was mean.
You are such a nasty person.
Oh, I know, and I'm not at the bottom of the comments, so I'll have 5 minutes lag before I actually read what they're saying back to me about it as well.
So what's the next one? What size engine have we got? It's a 2.3 litre turbo diesel, 130 brake horsepower, 6-speed manual. 2015. What's that one? Laura family saying hi through window. Oh, you've already talked about that one?
Yep.
What's that say?
Oh, where did I get my pan from? My pan was a Sainsbury's special, my frying pan.
Which they don't do anymore.
Yeah, they've stopped doing it. And it was in, you know, at Christmas time when they do like the Nectar card boost where you get 4 times the amount of boost points or something. And I ended up paying like £4 for the thing with me vouchers and stuff in there. But in the sale, it was only 16 quid anyway. So that is literally the best bargain piece of kitchen equipment that I have ever had. It is amazing, and I love that pan. I love it.
Where's Coop? Coop is up in the bed, which now we've got the diesel heater, which is fitted under the bottom of the bed. So it provides more heat to the garage and the bed, and then less heat towards the front of the van, which is opposite to the way the gas heater worked. So the beds are really warm, so that's where Coop is. It's like any pet. Just goes where it's comfy and warm. And where do mum and dad usually go? and I'll just get in the way.
Yeah, every now and again he gets a bit lonely though, and you just see his little head popping up from there. It's like, come down here, buddy, and he comes and jumps on here with me and sits between my legs, and there's not really much room on here. Or he sits underneath and farts normally. And as Daz and Tash and John can attest for, like WhatsApp video chats that we've had, it was just all of a sudden we'll be sat chatting away and we're like,
yeah, boff.
Because his little buffer arm coming up from under the table.
See, James Kenny's agreed with you. 30 hours plus chugging paella and superblock over the side of a boat. No thanks.
No, and that is exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I'd be able to cope with Coop being, because we took Coop to see Cat Zero, and we were trying to get him on the boat, and he wouldn't go on the boat. But then he was just on the gantry thing, the floaty pontoony thing. And he didn't like that. His little legs was going in and he didn't know what to do. So I literally had to pick up like 22 kilos of dog and walk along a moving walkway and up some stairs when I was feeling sick myself. So yeah, I think that neither of us are made for. I'll do it because we're desperate to go to Ireland. Somebody asked that before.
That is one place we are going to go.
And I'm going to put up with the sailing. We'll do whatever. If we can keep Coop in the van, which I know Dave did with Louis.
Yes, so we would do that because we don't want to put him caged anywhere.
No,
really,
no. And this van is so much better. We couldn't have done it in the old van because he tried to get on that bed so often in the old van and fell off, and we could see it on the camera, and it was awful because we weren't here to help him.
Yeah.
But this van.
It's fine everywhere.
No problem at all. So we're quite happy to do that, and I will risk the seasickness to get to Ireland for a decent amount of time.
So Peter Murphy is asking, question for you both: would you, after the pandemic, in 10 years, would you think of coming over for a little tour of Ireland?
That's where I've just got that question.
Is it really?
We're a pair tonight, aren't we? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just like we just said, yeah, it's all right.
Oh, dear me. So, obviously, the reasons behind us coming back, we kind of feel a bit validated because of what's happening right now. So, you've got Portugal is definitely shut down. You've got UK government that's banning anybody coming in unless they've got a negative COVID test.
But they've also cancelled all flights from Portugal.
Corridors
so
and all that kind of stuff as well,
Portugal.
So it is going to be something that at the time everyone was questioning us, but I think now most people could see why.
No, it was a good 50-50 split, I think, from people saying, are you daft? Why are you coming back when it's in lockdown? The weather is ridiculously bad. You can't go anywhere or do anything. You might as well stay out there. You can get out into the mountains. You can still walk around and it's all nice. And yeah, we get that completely, we do, and that was the biggest tug for us. But we've always felt a little bit like we shouldn't anyway. And most of the time we've been not defending ourselves as such, because we came out before any lockdowns, but justifying why we're travelling. And not everybody agreed with us, which is absolutely fine. And sometimes we made some calls because we didn't agree with what we were doing either, so we changed our minds and did something different. That's why we were in Andalusia for almost 6 weeks or something, and it just seems we don't have to think when we're here. I know Boris isn't particularly forthcoming with all of his
it's
things.
just but we're done with it anyway, aren't we now? So
so it's
just saying we're glad we did it, despite the fact that we come back to somewhere that's cold and wet. We're still glad we did it. So Mr. W, he wants to let everyone know that he hasn't unfollowed us all on Insta. It's just that he doesn't want to do Insta anymore. I had noticed and I did miss you. But yeah, I get it. I really do. Social media isn't for everyone. Sometimes it can be difficult to deal with. Did you read the question about John, can you advise Lou on decent tyres?
No.
All right.
No, it was Lou saying something about
someone said, can I advise Lou on decent tyres? Well, I mean, I could, but she hasn't even got a van, so, you know.
You see, that's meaner than me.
But I just noticed we're 10 minutes behind on the questions, so I'll waffle about something and you can pick up some new questions.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
You get waffling.
Get waffling. I just also wanted to say, I am reading the comments over on Gadget John channel about the series I was doing about how we make our videos and stuff like that. I haven't stopped. Like I said at the time, I just felt that it was coming up to Christmas and everyone's busy doing other things, and it wasn't getting the attention that it possibly could have got. So I'm just going to shelve it for a while. And obviously with coming back and everything else, I could see that it was going to be difficult to try and fit 3 videos in and do all that a week. So that's why I've kind of like just shelved it for a while, but I will come back this month. Now we're getting everything sorted here. I will start to make those videos as well, so probably by the end of the month I'll complete the YouTube section of it, which was the final section of the basic stuff, and then I'll move on to the advanced camera gear and editing and all that after that. So I just noticed there was a lot of questions on there, so I thought I'd let you all know about that one.
Yeah, there's been some talk about crumpets, about Tash has been backing up.
Has she?
Yeah, how lucky I was to get those crumpets on my birthday.
Tash was there.
And how
Tash had
was
that
the
experience
only...
live.
Yes. Yes, and she knows that there was no fixing of anything there.
Now some people question my authenticity of...
yeah, whether we'd just put all of that on.
Yeah. No.
Now, there'll be loads more cooking videos. I've got so many ideas. I've just not got any ingredients for anything new. I've got a couple of things. Give you a little bit of a sneak peek, because we've got hot dogs but no hot dog buns. So I'm going to do my little 2-ingredient dough and put all the ingredients in and roll it up and fry them in a frying pan, because I've got to do my frying pan.
You do?
To see what they're like. So there's loads of little bits of testing until we can get out and get some better ingredients. We've just got quick and easy food at the minute, because we did it in Spain, didn't we? We just grabbed things like filled pasta and gnocchi, obviously.
And where we are now, we're allowed a fire, because there's just no one here apart from us.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some outside cooking too.
Yeah, we just got to wait for... Oh, that was another question. I didn't put it down there.
Over a very new type of fire.
There's Campervan Chris.
Yeah.
Has John managed to put his any Amazon orders in? Yes.
Yes, just
Let's
a
just
little
say
bit.
that.
Yes.
There was a pile waiting for us in a corner, in a dry corner when we got here. So
yes.
Yeah.
Before we crossed into France, I was ordering stuff while we're in Spain, because I knew then that it'd take 2 or 3 days to come. So things like the diesel heater. We've added B2B and stuff like that to give us extra charge, which reminds me, someone's just asked how many batteries have you got. We've got 2 108 amp hour lithium batteries, and they're doing really well at the moment. So saved our bacon, because obviously we're not getting any solar at all. Someone told you
someone's just said one of the plants is falling off. It's Gorilla Tape, it's failing. The others are fine, they've got the same amount of tape on.
Yeah, so we got these 2 batteries, and we've recently, when we came back, we knew that we wouldn't be getting any solar or anything like that. So I've also fitted a second B2B. So we've now got 2 B2Bs, so we get a big whopping charge in there. So that in itself will also be an upcoming video, as will an overview of our electrical system, explaining why and how it's developed, and real life stuff, rather than some people who put a system in and then that's how you build your van. This is going to be a real life, like, this is what it's meant to us kind of thing, because I put a system in and I've changed that system, and so I want to explain why kind of thing, rather than me just go, oh yeah, there's a system that'll do. It's a justification of why I've made changes as well, because I do believe that you adapt and things change, and what you might believe at one stage is great, another stage isn't so great. So.
Yeah, and I know we have comments from people from time to time saying, I've just bought such and such thing and you've changed this, and we're so sorry, but at the time that would have been what was best for what we needed right at that point. And then of course all I needed is to get like a better coffee machine, and then we need to change something, or change my coffee machine so we can change something back down again, which is going to be something else that will come along very shortly, because of things like that. So there's and it is all moving, and we're lucky enough to be able to do that. And I've said to John today, a bit sloppy now, how lucky I feel to have him there able to do all of this stuff, because if it was just me in a van, I'd be just in bed the whole time, because that's the only place that's been warm, and I can't even drink coffee or tea because I can't boil the kettle because we might run out of gas. Yeah,
2 days ago we had almost no power left. We are off grid where we are now. There's not a chance that we can plug into any mains electricity at all, and we were using a third of
a gas bottle.
A third of our gas bottles every day. And that was minimal heating, cooking, and the fridge and all that kind of stuff.
So yesterday I had 1 brew, and then because I was so cold, I had one of those 1.5 litre bottles of Don Simon sangria that you get from Spain. I had one of those left, so I just started having a little bit of a drink of that when I was making dinner, and it was just a little bit more of that, and then we watched the film, and then I did a little video call with our daughter and drank a bit more, and before I knew it the bottle had gone. I was wondering why the floor was moving under my feet, and John's laughing his head off. I woke up with a bit of a headache this morning.
Yeah, you did a bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
Someone just pointed out Rosendale isn't in Yorkshire.
Lancashire.
It is.
I meant Lancashire.
I'm sure you did.
I did. I've not even had half a beer yet, but I meant Lancashire.
Yeah.
I am so terrible. That's why we've got maps. If you ever saw John's old office in the house, it was a massive big A1 map of the UK.
Yeah.
And it was literally, I'd be like, babe, can we go to such a place? He'd go find it for me. And I'm like, that's just mean.
Not really.
No, I still don't know where half of the stuff is. I had to get Em and Lou to describe where bloody Kent was, even though we drive through it all the time whenever we come back, because I had no idea.
Someone asked, how's UK van life compared to Spain? Well, interestingly, the last week and a bit we were in Portugal, and then Spain got really cold, and then we're in France that was very cold. Portugal was quite wet, so you amalgamate those together and that's just like we are now. It's -1, it's been snowing and it rained solid for 2 days after we got back. So yeah, it's different than being warm and dry and doing all that kind of stuff, but you know, that's just the way it is. Somebody else
I need to say I'm really sorry, but as with all my gesticulating then, I hit the screen of my phone and it took me down a bit further, and now I can't get back, so I've lost a big chunk of questions. And the one at the top of the screen just says, if you could only see what hand gesture we're giving you now, Mandy, from Camper Vibe. I think that might have been about the van comment.
Oh. I'll find out in 10 minutes. I'm still at questions that were asked or comments that were put on there at 8:15.
Right, I'm at 8:14 now. I was before that. I was picking them up.
So someone's asked that we seem very happy in our videos. How do we stay happy? I think it's down to the fact that it sounds a bit sloppy this, but that we love each other so much that kind of overrides the fact that I can be a knob and you can be a bit grumpy and moody.
Yeah, that's very true. But we've also figured out we have some blinding arguments.
Yeah.
We really do. And I've mentioned before I need a slammy door thing because I am a stormer offerer.
Yes.
Literally, I just want to get out of the way because I know I don't mean half of the things that I'm going to say, and I just get really angry. And obviously the safest person for me to take things out on, but he's normally the cause of everything, is John. Yeah. So what I want to do is just go and calm down, because I know once I calm down I'll be far more reasonable. But then John wants to fix everything, because that's what he's done for his job his whole life, is to fix it. And he's like, I'm going to come and fix you. And I'm like, I'll bleeding well fix you. And yeah, so that's how it goes. But then we just spend 5 minutes apart and then back together again. But we're
5 hours.
We're best mates. We get on so well. We really, really do.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a big difference. And it's not a secret that I suffer from anxiety, and sometimes it can be really crippling. And I really struggle with social media, which is why you'll see me on there very sporadically. I'll have this big run and then I'll have to back off completely, and it just really gets to me in a way that the only thing I can do is take myself away. Whereas John, all the time, he's just there, and he just gives me gentle little nudges, and it makes me realise that this is all good. It is all good, and all the bad stuff is in the minority, which then makes me like think, oh, isn't he lovely, look at that, he's looking after me, and he's all dead nice and stuff, and then we get all lovey-dovey and nice, and that's literally, we just bull each other up the whole time and make it feel like that there is good things, and it starts with us, and that's that. And enough of that shit. Anyway,
back questions. How do I know the accurate, or how do I measure the accurate level of our batteries? And we've got Bluetooth lithium batteries, so I changed them September time last year. I think it was October time last year. There's a video if you want to go watch that after this. And those allow me, with a Bluetooth app on my phone, to see the exact state of each battery, its discharge, charge, its temperature, how many charge cycles it's had, and everything else. We also have a BMV 712, a Victron battery management system, which almost every 3 days is out by probably up to 3%. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I like things to be the same. So the BMV is pretty good, even on the best settings that it's got. But yeah, the reason why I love these new batteries is that we can Bluetooth and see the exact state we've got. Another question I saw then was, do we have any mold in our van? No mold whatsoever. Damp wise, we have condensation now and again. We'll have condensation around the door edge, so where the door's not really insulated because it's this sort of the thinnest bit where it seals around the frame. We also had a bit of condensation in the garage because the trimmer system wasn't really powerful enough to get to the garage, so we'd go and wipe that down a bit.
And in the cupboards above the bed.
Cupboards above the bed,
because it's stuffed full of clothes. It's just that there's no airflow. So Tash
Yeah.
and John gave us a really good idea that every now and again we just open the cupboards at the back just to let the airflow take one or two things out, and that does help. And we've stuck cork board inside there, which really helps. There's no condensation in there.
Yeah, that's cured that one.
Yeah, that really has sorted that one out.
Someone said, do we wave at caravans like we wave at motorhomes?
I've just seen that one.
We've tried waving at everyone, but no one waves back.
No.
Even when we were caravanners, no one waved back.
No, after we'd been motorhomers and then caravanners, we thought, oh, we like the motorhome wave, so let's crack on and see if that... No, they're not having any of it. So any caravanners, just wave.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Give us
It's
a
just
wave.
this lovely camaraderie. We're all on an adventure together. Let's just wave at everybody. And if we get away from like van conversions and stuff, not only does John laugh when I wave at like delivery vans instead.
Yeah, because she doesn't quite tell the difference.
And I'm like, is that an awning rail? And John's like, well, yeah, it's a windscreen fitting company. Of course they've got an awning.
We'll even wave at like, you know, all the VW vans, because we used to have a VW as well, so we're kind of like, we'll wave at that. Not many wave back, but there you go.
Someone's just asked if we could have stayed with Martin and we're away in Portugal, and yes,
That
we
would
could
have
have
been
done.
nice, yeah.
We could have stayed there, but we have to be back here for our MOT anyway. So we didn't want to get caught up in all of the COVID testing. It's bad enough trying to get Cooper's tablets done. And if anybody is going through Salamanca on the way back to the ferry in like Santander or Bilbao or even to Calais, go to it was Argos Veterinary Surgery in Salamanca.
Argos?
Yeah, it's called Argos.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, in Salamanca, €7.80, and he gave me it was a full tablet. He had half, and then he gave me the other half as well, filled in the book, no problems at all. That was the best bargain, I think, of the whole trip. That was really good. And the guy wanted
Really
to practice his
surprise.
English, so I was very happy with that.
Yeah. James Stapley, Greg Virgo, build videos, John. Know anything? Yeah, he's struggling to buy a van because everyone's out there buying vans right now, and he wants to do a budget van, so he's got a price range, and I guess it's tough to find something like that.
Yeah,
so.
but he really wants to do it properly, as he said in his video, everything budget and as little cost as possible, so he's really got to wait to find the right van.
You got any more questions you've seen? I haven't.
Do one of us sleep while the other one drives?
Apart
from in the front seat.
Yeah, we don't go into bed, but yeah, I'll try and have a nap, because if I stop to swap around, it's because I'm knackered. So you can usually drive for about 8 to 12 hours, as long as I've had a good sleep. So if I've not had a good sleep, then I'll drive for maybe 5 or 6 hours, and then we'll swap over. And in that time, yeah, I'll get as decent nap as I can, you know, unless I get woken up for the tolls.
I couldn't help it. If I could throw pennies past your head.
Could have spun round, reversed back.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, next time I'll do that then, okay.
Handbrake turn, bit of a J turn, flip it round.
Oh yeah, because my driving skills are mad. Mad skills. Someone's just asked, what kind of power bank would you recommend?
All depends on what you want. If you want to ask the question again with what your requirements are, there are 3 different types now, and they're brilliant at, you know, if you want it to power small devices, medium devices, or I'm testing one right now, which we'll do a video in a week and a bit. The one I'm testing now literally replaces everything we've got in our van. You drop it in, you've got a mega inverter in there, mega batteries in there, and it just does everything. So it just depends on what you need. Someone's asked about Daz. Daz is doing all right. He's still planning on doing another video later on this month, I think he said. Another motorhome Monday or another idea he's working on.
Yep, absolutely.
But he plans to get a video out. But obviously, given the job that he does, he was exceptionally busy getting us all our food over Christmas and everything like that. So, well, not us, because we don't order from there.
No.
But people that do order from there, he was getting their food.
Yeah. Someone's asked if you've ever looked at air conditioning because you don't like the heat.
I have, and as we don't spend too much time on campsites, it's not a drain on my batteries that I'd be willing to deal with. That's why in our van we've got possibly 3 or 4 different portable fan designs. So ones that we can stick in the roof vents or the windows. Getting an alarm now. Alexa, stop.
Yes, the secret's out. We've run off reminders.
That is a wonderful reminder, actually. That is because Cooper is so fussy that he only likes his food at room temperature, and we get these big packs of food, which means we have to store up to 5 packs of, or portions of it, in the fridge after we've opened the main pack, which means for 5 meals his food would be too cold, and he lets us know he doesn't like that. So we have to get his food out the night before so that it's at room temperature in the morning, because that's how fussy he is. Anyway, going back to fans. So yeah, we've got the ones that can move out the skylights and windows. We've got portable fans you can hold to your face, fans that you can direct from, you know, anywhere around. And then the trimmer system's got its own little inbuilt way of not providing heat, but using the fan to blow around cold air at floor level. And so far, we've been okay with that. I wouldn't say it's been comfortable sometimes, but we've dealt with it. And I think for the small amount of time I've dealt with it, then I'm quite happy to say it's worth not having the overhead, the extra weight, and all that from air conditioning.
Okay, ready for another one?
Go on.
Rod Boyle has said, please, when discussing your editing, could you please mention which app or program used, as hoping that the music is available on it?
No, I have actually done the video. So if you go over to the Gadget John channel, I've done that video and I talk about editing. The music is something that I pay for, and it's a service called Epidemic Sounds. It costs £10 a month or £99 a year or whatever. But if you go to our website, and there's one of the drop down menus, it says how we make our movies or something like that. We make our videos or video making gear. In there it lists the same stuff as the videos in a smaller detail. So it lists what I use software wise, what I use hardware wise, all my camera gear, including links to all that kind of stuff, and where we get music from. So you can go and have a look at it over there.
And someone asked, how do we get Amazon stuff delivered? All you need is an address, and where we are is an address, so we can just literally. Thankfully, we've got very kind people that are hosting us, and they've already said that they don't mind helping us out with the. It did start off with the odd parcel. We're going to have to buy him some bloody alcohol, aren't we, with the amount of stuff you've been ordering? He ordered 2 pairs of socks today. How many pairs of socks turned up, babe?
Apparently each pair I ordered actually was a pack of 4. So I have 8 pairs of winter socks now.
Ski socks?
Yeah.
So useful. So we're giving them away. Next time we do like a prize draw, it'll be like, hey, you win a prize. Ski socks.
I won't wear them.
No, not pre-worn.
Someone else has asked, could you make a video about the 180 days, 90 days, kind of like EU travel? Not really. I imagine that might be helpful for a couple of people, but as a dedicated video, it's quite a lot. We've done plenty of videos about Brexit and the changes and what you can do and all that kind of stuff. But I think until a few of us has been out there for a few times and worked out what's involved and got around the system and all that kind of stuff, and then pass on your experience, I think that's the best way around it, rather than just talk about supposition and read from rules.
Yeah, I mean, from what we know so far, just to cover the actual question that was in there, that it is 90 and 180 days. So the 180 days, so 6 months will start from the 1st of January, because that's when it came in. So you'll have 6 months from then to be able to travel 90 days. So you could be in the EU for 90 days. So if what you're saying is right, 40 days in the EU to get to Croatia, 30 days in Croatia, then 40 days back is absolutely fine, because all of that is within 180 days and is less than 90 days in the EU. And that's what we've picked up from everything and everybody we've spoken to. So that kind of thing is fine. It was a shocker for me for Croatia, because Croatia's in the EU. It's just not in the Schengen zone. So you can go there as your timeout if you need to. However, that's it. You're in a timeout. Off you go. However, they don't like wild camping at all. I think everything there is proper campsites, and they're quite expensive, which is why in my head it's probably been like, we're not going there. Yeah. What amps does your alternator put out, John?
My alternator is 190 amp, I think. It's something like that. I think I measured it when we first installed the batteries. Yeah, I think it was close to 200 peak, and it was a steady 190 amps at full load. Someone's mentioned about going to the EU. You know, you can't take meat and dairy products. Yeah, there's lots of little idiosyncrasies about Brexit that do mean that you need to be careful about what you take out there. So if you go in a camper van and you stock your fridge full of bacon on the way out, then it's potentially possible that someone could walk into your van, check what you've got, and nick all your bacon.
It's fresh meat and dairy. You can have frozen meat apparently, but no dairy at all. The dairy will go. So all I can say is that big Ocean in Calais is going to get hammered with people going over, or people are going to be like hiding it in the heating ducts and stuff. Like put packs of sausages in there, but just don't forget to take them out. Or you cook them.
Someone's asked about the internet. It's working really well. I'm using my phone right now, which is an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and we're using it on our van Wi-Fi, which I am going to do an updated video, because a lot of you keep saying, John, they're out of stock right now, and I've noticed you don't use those items on your last video. The last video was a year ago, and yes, I've changed. Like I said about the power and all that, we evolve the setup in our van to suit our needs as we realise that things can be improved on. So yeah, I do appreciate what Mandy was saying before, when people say, oh no, I've only just bought the antenna, or I've only just bought the battery you had 2 years ago. Yeah, times change, and unfortunately I like to have things that work as best as possible if we can afford it, and therefore yeah, I will change and alter things now and again.
Excuse me 1 second. There's 1,154 people watching. I need to go and have an Emily. Sorry.
You're going to have to explain that.
Anyone who's watched them will know exactly what I mean. And if you haven't, you need to go watch them, watch all the videos and figure out what I mean. Oh yeah, someone said, when are you going to sort out my engagement ring? We've had all this. Don't take that off, because I'll kill you. That stops my face from getting scratched on there. Okay. I need to say, I lost my engagement ring when we were moving into our first house. I'd done all the cleaning and I had it in my pocket, and I was walking to the corner shop to get some popping sandwiches and stuff, and took my watch out so I could see what time it was, and I presume at that point my engagement ring came out with my watch, never to be seen again.
We went hunting up and down the streets, everything for that one. So
at that time, we weren't married at that point, so it was just like, let's just wait and see. So we didn't bother anything. I was saying no, it's absolutely fine.
I wanted to get
another one, but we were skint. We were absolutely skint at that point.
I think the engagement ring was only 20 quid, but I wasn't earning a lot at the time.
Yeah, we really were skint. And then when we got married, we were skint when we got married, so we had just normal engagement rings from Argos, like you do.
We've been married for 25 years.
25 years. So
just to let you know, it's a long time of
so
no money.
On our 20th wedding anniversary, we decided that we were going to go and upgrade our wedding rings because we could. So we went to beautiful jewellers in Manchester and got titanium. John got a titanium ring. I got a platinum
I've still got my ring.
Where though?
It's on my key ring.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I get a nasty mark on the finger.
So anyway, so I go to the shops with my lovely diamond encrusted platinum wedding ring, and get back home, and I'm taking the shopping out of the boot, and I go like that, and I go and my ring is not on my finger. So I get back in the car, check the car, John checks everything out, I go all the way back. I'd not just been to Tesco's at this point. I'd went to Tesco's, I'd got fuel, I'd been to KFC to get some dinner, and I ended up going back into KFC. I was so desperate at this point. Got my tray of the tray of food. I remembered which bin I'd put that in. I'd gone up to them, the bin was still full, and said I needed the bin, and they were all looking at me really weird, and I'm just like, honestly, I've lost my wedding ring. You don't want to know how much that cost, and I need it back. It's my 20th wedding anniversary thing. I need it back. So I ended up grabbing the bin bag. They quite happily gave me this bin bag, goes in the boot of my car, take it all the way home, and I spend the next 2 hours sifting through it. There was dirty bloody nappies in there and everything, searching through all the it was not the best thing ever. No, and still no wedding ring, and I've never found it. And straight after that, John got back onto the jewellers to tell them, ask them if they could get another one in, and I said no, because I can't be trusted.
I had it all organised, and I said, we're going down there doing that, and she said no.
There's no point. This ring I've had, this is the one I was married with. This is the £30 from Argos wedding ring. I've had that for 25 years.
And that's my wedding ring there, just to show you I've got it and it does fit fine. It's just that when we're in Spain, I swelled up.
Yeah, so that's why. So John's been getting a little bit of good-natured stick about the engagement ring thing, but that's why I don't have any replacements, because I don't want to waste money. I know he loves me. I don't need a ring. It's fine.
Anyway, to change the subject, did we need the new pet health insurance certificate to get Cooper back? No. If you watch the video, you'll see Mandy passes over the European vet passport system that we've had for 2 years now.
Yep.
He's used it twice. Well,
but there's two lots of women stuff in there anyway. Yeah.
And they accepted that. They stamped it, and then we obviously got that stamped by the vet, and then that was it, done.
Yeah, and that's the last time it's ever going to get used.
Can't use it again now.
Yeah, although somebody has asked about if we managed to get Cooper's pet passport, and we were speaking to Debs and Martin when we were with Martin House and Hope, so we're away. We're speaking to them, and they're looking at getting an EU passport for Molly as well, because it's a lot easier. But in Portugal, you have to have their equivalent of a national insurance number to be able to put on the pet passport as like proof of residency in some way. And I think they're obviously going for residency. I think maybe I shouldn't be saying anything of this, maybe not, I don't know.
No.
But they were looking into it, and it isn't just a case of going and getting one. You need an address, or you need proof that you are a resident in the country.
So a residency number, a bit like our national insurance number, something like that.
Yes, so you need that. So it's a little bit of a bigger step.
Yeah.
Then he's needed to just go and get the passport. But if we were there for longer, we probably would have looked into what else we could do.
Yeah, if it was slightly easier, but no, it's too complicated.
And I think Spain might be a little bit simpler, from what I've heard. So it's just waiting and see.
A couple of questions on there. What tyres have we got? If you go to our website, gjot.uk/motorhome, everything's under there, and the tyres and the wheels and everything we've got are all listed. The BFG KO2s, and they're great. Another question is, when you fitted your additional B2B, did you make any alterations to your original split charge system? There's already a B2B installed in the van, a 20 amp one, not a great one, like part of the system's electronics. So I've left that in place, and the second B2B is installed over the top, and they both work together fine. That'll be it on another video coming out as soon as I can get all these videos out, really.
And like you've got nothing else to do. Oh, actually, you have. I'll let you off with that one.
Yeah, for the last couple of days, I've been quite busy.
Yeah, there might be other things to do as well, isn't it?
What do I think about the new drone laws? Yeah, a bit of a pain, but as long as you, I don't know, as long as you fly responsibly, you're never going to get the attention of the people who would want to remind you that you're not flying, you know, in sort of, I suppose, in the spirit of things, shall we say. So yeah, don't fly where you're not supposed to fly. Keep low, fly safe, don't fly near loads of people.
Don't fly under bridges in Rwanda.
Yeah, don't fly under bridges in Rwanda. Yeah, I don't know. I always fly how I've always flown, and that's been about 6 years of flying drones, and nobody has ever come and questioned me. So.
Oh, there was that guy at Lady Bower.
He wanted to ask me questions.
Yeah. Right then, quick one. Cozy2 Living Off Grid is doing a Step into Spring channel. So if you go see him on his Instagram challenge, what did I say? Channel.
Yeah, he's not doing a new video.
He's not doing a channel. No. He's doing a challenge, and all these details, and he's doing it for charity. I think there's a Just Giving page on there as well. So if you do fancy that, doing a bit of sponsorship stuff, go and have a look at what he's doing over there. And I know that there's a few people, Tash and I are two of them, who are doing the 1,000-step thingy-majig country walking. I know what it is. I've signed up for it. 1,000 miles in a year. Obviously, I've got a bit of a kibosh on mine because I've got 10 days with nothing. I've been outside once today for 2 minutes. But I will be catching up. I will not let isolation beat me.
When we're not in a place where, as you walk into the walking areas around here, you would sink about that much in mud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So give you a break on that one.
Yes. And lots of people are asking if we like camper vibe if we were looking at doing a meetup. Next time we get a chance to have a word with Gabby and Johnny up at Willow Fields, we're going to see about something as soon as it's possible to do it, because they're so good, they'll let us
when it's safe for everybody. So when it's safe for the campsite and us all and all that kind of stuff, then we'll see what we can sort out.
Yeah, because they're closed at the minute, so once they can open again, then it'll be we'll speak to them, because I'm sure they won't mind letting us have the whole field for a weekend and do something there, because it is brilliant. There's so much space up there, it's fantastic.
Someone's asked, do we have double glazing? We do on the habitation windows. Obviously the van cab side isn't. Have you got a plan if anything happened to the motorhome? We used to get this loads of times on Van Chat Tuesday. It's just the same as you live in a house. You don't live in a house and then have a backup plan for, you know, if you suddenly had to get your house fumigated or anything like that. You just deal with things as they come. We've got a little bit of savings, but it's just the general things of, you know, you just get a hotel room or Airbnb or something like that. Have you ever got a speeding fine going through France on the single carriageways? No. I think only someone's ever got a speeding fine.
All right. I was in a Volvo as well, blinking speeding, and it was a front-facing camera. So when it got me, I'm like, sunglasses on. There was some kids winding me up, and I just had to get past them, and that's how that happened. It wasn't my fault at all. But yeah, John got them to send the photograph of the speeding thing, just because we didn't know who was driving. And yeah, he had that pinned up in his office because he thought it was freaking hilarious.
So funny, yeah. Someone's asked what VW did we have? It was a T6, and if you want to watch all the build videos, they're way back.
You slag, you pimping our channel out.
No, but if people have got time and they're interested in it,
yes,
go watch
very
them.
true. It was a good one. We fitted the flooring in February with the side door open, with snow coming in sideways. That was the one common memory that I've got about that one.
That was not a good time to do it.
Now, someone's asked, we haven't, because we've still got valid e-hit cards, but has anybody got the new GHI? Is it the G-hit instead?
G-hit, yeah.
Has anybody managed to get one of those or applied for one of those yet? Because apparently if you've got your e-hit already, then it's valid until it expires, and then you just get this new one once it expires. But I don't know if anybody's ever got one. If you pop down there, then anybody who's interested can have a read and see what the process was like, and if it was pretty straightforward.
Somebody's asked you, the questions are I'm really sorry now, I've got to apologise, but because we've got so many of you guys watching, thank you very much for watching, but the chat questions are actually disappearing now.
They go in off the top
so
of the screen, so
see.
If you've asked a question and we haven't answered it, ask it again, because we'll catch it next time we come up.
I can't see who asked the question, but somebody says, Mandy, how do you manage your anxiety?
How do I manage? Okay, let me just get rid of this Russian guy 1 sec. Bow. I manage my anxiety in a few different ways. I have got the Calm app, and I use the meditation bits on there. I like the sound of rainfall on leaves and things, so I literally will sit there and I'll have my earphones in, and I just go out of the way, and I tell you I need 15 minutes or whatever, and I just go sit there and I just do some deep breathing with that, and all I need to do 99% of the time is to stop the cycle of me overthinking, because I can overthink. I could win Olympic champions at overthinking, and it is one of those things. You see memes all around saying, oh, 99% of the stuff is made up in my head, and that's exactly how it is for me. But it can be so bad that I can't get out of bed. I can convince myself of anything, and it's ridiculously bad. So all I need to do is to stop that cycle. So as long as I can stop me from doing that, and me and Tash were having a chat about it one day, and we'd seen something, and it said the one thing you just double check yourself. How do you know? So whatever's going around your head and whatever you think it is, how do you know? Who told you that? And that's one of those things that if it's yourself, then that's it. You can just talk yourself right out of that negativity.
Another one, I think, sorry to interrupt you, is that you say you worry about something and then you check yourself. Is it something you can actually change? And if not, don't worry about it.
Yeah. If you can control it, if it is something you can do and make a change, then do it. And if it's anything that's out of your control, then there's no point in worrying about it, because you will worry yourself away. I've got journals. I have a gratitude journal, so I write in that and put what I'm thankful for. I write down any worries that I've got, and there's just little bits in there that make me feel better, and I can read them back to myself, and I can see how I'm changing and how my thought processes are. And if I get lost in something again, I can see what helped me to get out of it last time. And the other thing is, I've got some brilliant mates, and John and my daughter, and I can talk to them about anything. And if I'm having a bad day or a particularly bad thing, I know sometimes saying it out loud makes it feel, you kind of realise how daft it can be, how daft it sounds, just saying it out loud.
Yeah.
And even if it's not daft, and you speak to your friends about it, and I am plagued with lucky friends. I am so lucky to have fortunate. I'm plagued with them. They're everywhere. Can't get away from them all. No, they are so good that I know that I can say anything to any of them, and nobody is going to back me off and say that it's ridiculous and what the heck are you thinking like that for, apart from when I need it, and then they do that when I need it. So yeah, I'm very lucky, and I know that sometimes does help. And I know it's not a simple answer, and everybody's anxiety or depression or anything like that, everybody's mental health issues are completely different. But the only thing I can say is breaking the cycle of what goes on in your head is the best thing you can do. Watch some telly, go for a run, play with your dog, do whatever you can do just to get yourself out of your own mind, and that is literally the best thing that you'll ever do. And I'll shut up now and look at more questions.
Side Technomatics just say, a Seamandy's on the beer.
Of course I am.
Oh dear. A couple of questions picked up on then was, with the freezing temperatures, are you worried about your pipes freezing and water tanks? All our fresh water tanks and pipes are all inside the van, so as long as we keep the heating on, which we are, because obviously we need it on, that's going to be okay. Our grey waste tank is underneath, and yes, that's frozen up, but that'll hold around, I think it's 70 litres, so it should be all right in a couple of days when it starts to get warmer again. Another question on there was, it's gone off the screen.
You have to write them down.
I know. I haven't got anything to write them down
Oh,
with.
have you got a pen?
No.
Oh, you're going to do that then? Oh, I tell you.
Oh, that was it. It was the Power Oak one. So the person was replying to a question about which Power Oak.
Yeah.
If you're only charging iPads, MiFi hotspots and phones, stuff like that, I think Power Oak or Blue Yeti, whatever they call these days, do something called an AC30. The AC50 is brilliant, but it's probably overkill for you. It'll probably last you about a month if you wanted to do it that way. But yeah, there's all sorts of smaller power banks. You can even get, ones off Amazon. I think as long as you get something off Amazon or eBay that's got really good reviews, you shouldn't have to worry about it. But yeah, it depends. If you just want something to take away for a weekend, then anything that's kind of like 20,000 milliamp hours or something should charge those devices at least once or twice, so you should be all right with that.
Do you know something that's really funny though? And this is what John has to deal with. We're trying to work out how long diesel in a diesel heater was going to last for, and I just kept asking questions, and I'm like, yeah, but what about this, and what about this, and what about this? And then John started laughing, and he's just like, but I don't know what to tell you, because they were really daft questions. But then again, he's also had to answer questions from me. It's like, will there being too much wind affect how much solar we're getting?
Will it blow the solar away? Will the diesel heater melt around itself? So when it gets so hot, it'll melt everything around it. That was another one.
It was. And the diesel heater's been on all this time, and it's not, apart from the bit that's supposed to be hot, it's not hot at all.
Somebody's asked what's the furthest point we've ever been from the UK, and that would be Gibraltar in our van.
Is that further away than Denmark?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Denmark's, well, as you can remember, if we were at Denmark, we're on a beach.
Oh, we were looking at Hull.
We're looking at Hull was opposite the beach we were on, and Dave was on the boat at the time. So someone said, John, your Amazon links are out of date. Yeah, some of the really old stuff and all that kind of stuff, because if the products go out of stock and then they get delisted from Amazon, they're out of date. I know it might sound tedious for me to say this and like lazy or whatever, but I literally don't have much time left between filming stuff, working full time, editing videos, eating, drinking and sleeping, and driving places. So now that we're not driving anywhere for a few months, I might actually have time to go through that. But so thank you very much. Someone else has asked, do you watch any of us van YouTubers?
US, I'm assuming that is. I've written that down.
Oh right, because it's not a capital S. So yes, US. If it is US van tubers, Obviously, Eamon and Beck,
Trenton Alley,
what they call Chrome.
Fancy Van Life. Is he Canadian though? Is that
Canadian? Yeah, I guess so.
I think they're all Canadian, aren't they?
Who's the other one as well? We're the Russos. A few other ones. Forestry Forest as well. We started watching him recently, but I can't get into him, and I can't understand why millions of people watch him, because I'm watching him and thinking, what's he doing now? Maybe we should watch more of him.
Yeah, maybe we should do. He's got a really methodical way of talking. He reminds me of my English teacher from high school, who was just like really, really a bit Greg-like. You know,
yes.
very, very thoughtful with everything that he's saying, and well thought out, and like you really take everything in when he's talking.
Evaporator coolers instead of aircon? No, because they're not aircon. They introduce moisture. So an evaporator cooler is a cool tub of water where the fan drags out the water, usually over a filter, and blows the colder air around. But you've got to remember that cold air has got a lot of moisture in it, so you're introducing moisture, and that's never really a good thing to introduce moisture into your van. So I would never really recommend that one.
Someone's asked about wind generators for backup power.
And wind generators, noise and vibration would, I think, cause a lot of problems with that one. What are we watching on TV right now?
Oh, what we were watching, Colony.
Colony's a good one.
On Amazon Prime. That's actually been surprisingly good.
Sorry, I've just seen Ash say, please send socks north now.
I've just written that down, so I'd have to say that.
Sorry, mate. I'll get them in the post. Oh, Ash, you want to see the fire we've got? Oh, you're going to love this fire, mate. It's brilliant. I say that because I know Ash likes fires. And
excuse me, everyone likes fire.
Everyone likes the warmth of fire, but some people don't appreciate the creation.
The creation of. I'm not allowed to touch it.
And the beauty of fire.
I'm not. I can cook things over it, but I'm not allowed to touch it. How long do we plan on being on the road for?
Till we get bored, really. Till we get bored, or we can't. We don't have enough money, all those kind of things. As soon as there is some significant thing stopping us from doing it, really.
Do we use external screens? We've been talking about this today.
What for? Editing?
External screens.
Oh, those things. Sorry, I was in technical mode then.
Dial it back a bit, not so technical.
No, because our blinds, I mean, if I can touch those blinds, you can't really see. When I touch the blinds now, they're not cold. So our blinds, the window blinds we've got, the concertina blinds, they Remis? Yeah. They're thermally lined, so we don't get any kind of cold coming through them. We get more cold coming through the lower part of the dash, the bulkhead, than we do coming through the windows on the van, really. So having those external screens really wouldn't help.
No. There's someone's asked about dog food and cat food. I think that's exempt, any dog meat. I really just think that it's food for human consumption that they're bothered about, so you should be fine with their cat and dog food. I don't think they're looking at anything with that. I think it's something to do with bacteria in fresh food, which is why it can be frozen. I think they haven't got the right license for it, so that's why frozen food is okay, but anything fresh like dairy or whatever, that's where the problem lies. There's a few people said that, and somebody, Alexander Scott, said that the Spain and Portugal are being lobbied. We'd heard a lot about that when we were over there by all the expats and people who, what do we call them, not silver surfers, the silver birds. They gave themselves a name because they fly south because they fly south for the winter. And they were saying that they've for all the the Facebook groups and things that they're all in, that there is a massive thing where the Portuguese commissioner for something and the same one in Spain are looking to scrap it, or if they can't scrap it, they're looking to do 180 in 360, so people can spend their 6 months in winter time in one go without having to and fro. So that is absolutely active, and if you Google it, you'll find out a lot more information about it, because there's lots more of this is what we would like to happen, and that's basically as far as it's gone at the minute. Someone's asked, would you do a USA Canadian road trip? We've already done a USA road trip in a car a couple of years back, and you can find those videos. I think there's 4 or 5 videos. So if you go back to the videos tab and scroll down, I think they almost start off the channel, that kind of series. Would we do it in our van? Yes, we have talked about it, because we've talked about shipping it over and shipping costs and insurance and everything like that. And it's quite doable, in all fairness. It's not daft money. It's only about 2.5 grand.
So yes, we talked about it. We did get to the point of looking into it, and then this shenanigans happened. So it's something we hopefully will still do in the future.
How old is Coop? Coop is 11. He'll be 12 this year. So he's a little old fella. He's been a bit shaky. He's not like the cold.
No.
The first time ever being back here, we let him out and he's like right back at the door like, I've had a wee, I'm coming back in. And normally he loves being outside, so he's not liking this cold weather at all.
Do you still work out with Emily for motivation?
She nearly killed me when I did it last. Honestly. Bloody Warrior Wednesday, Courtney Black workout. Honestly, I really nearly did die. Honestly, I couldn't walk for days afterwards. They soon laughing at me trying to climb back in the van again. It was my fault because the workout finished, and I know that I need a really good cool down and a really good stretch out, and I didn't do it because I've not done a workout for a while. And then I did do another one. I think we did, what did we do, 3 in total or something together?
Yeah.
I think out of the 3, it was just the first one that really got me. We technically should have been doing more, but then obviously they couldn't do anything, or they were really stuck with the hotel rooms and things that they were in, or having time for doing it. And I was in a real funk, really, and just ate food and drank beer instead of doing workouts. So that's that.
Fair game.
Yeah.
Did your mobile companies charge you extra when we'd left the EU? Obviously, we're only in the EU after Brexit for 11 days, and was it 11 days? Yeah, it was 11 days. And swapped between Portugal, Spain, and France. We got the text, and it just always said, now you're in such a country, you can use your plan, minutes, data, and texts as if you're in the UK. So I'm on EE and I got no limitations whatsoever. The van hotspot uses EE and it had no limitations whatsoever. You're on 3 and you were limited to
20 gig.
20 gig a month. Yeah.
Unlimited data, unlimited phone and text.
Yeah.
What 20 gig a month, and limited to 3 months.
Yeah.
So once I got, although they didn't tell me anything, and to be honest with you, I don't think I used much out there because I was in the van most of the time and bumming off the Wi-Fi. So. And yeah, EE is definitely the way to go.
Certainly good. Don't forget when you're in Scotland next, we are promised parsnips.
Parsnips?
Yeah, apparently.
I like parsnips.
I don't, not particularly.
How
I've got a true story about parsnips. I used to work at National Power installing fibre optics through the power lines that are overhead, the big sort of pylons. And we used to have a canteen, and it was all you can eat, so you can imagine. They used to do roast dinners and all that. And the queue for the roast potatoes was like way long, and then I saw another queue where it looked like roast potatoes and there was no one there. So I filled my plates with all my meats, my gravy, and what someone then told me was roast parsnips. And yes, you can taste the difference, and I didn't like them.
No, it ruined his meal entirely.
It did, yeah.
Somebody's asked, what have we got on our bucket list?
Ooh. I don't know, I forgot a bucket list.
I think the bucket list as far as driving trips and stuff is concerned is to get up to Norway. We want to do Lofoten. Everybody wants to do that because why wouldn't you? Yeah,
get to Lofoten Islands and come back down before it freezes up, because now we've all watched Ash's videos. We know how really, really, really bad winter is.
Yeah, I'm not going there at this time of year. You're blinking bonkers, man.
I can't believe you saw the sun for the first time this year today. That's crazy.
Yeah, -1 is killing me. So yeah, there is that.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because we did -5 at the top of the Sierra Nevada mountain, which was, what was it, 8,000 feet up or something like that, 4,000 feet up, I can't remember now. And -5 during the day, when you're walking around and it's sunny, that's manageable. I can see why people don't worry when they go skiing there.
Yeah.
They get a suntan. But like -2 in a blinking field in the Midlands when it's wet and snowy, that's not nice at all.
No, I mean, people have been asking us as well about LPG, because I don't know if anybody's aware that the LPG mix in each country you go to is slightly different. The UK has 100% propane in its auto gas, because, you know, they don't know what to expect, so they don't mess around. Whereas Spain and Portugal for the winter months will have like 30% butane and 70% propane, and during summer it'll be a 60-40 split, and always more propane than butane. And of course butane freezes faster or has a lower freezing point. I think it's 0 degrees for butane, and propane's like -40 or something, so it helps with the temperatures. And people were asking about whether we'd suffer because we topped up our LPG in France before we got back, so whether the class of LPG would be right or wrong. All I can say is we had a Spain mix of LPG, which at that point would have been a 70-30 ratio. When we were up on the top of the mountains, I was going to say in San Miguel. We were not in San Miguel.
Might have drunk some.
We probably did. And when we were up in the mountains, and it was absolutely fine. We had, well, apart from it burnt more, but that was the fact that the air was thinner rather than anything else, like the combustion kind of things.
Yeah, we've not really found an issue so far, and what we've kind of heard is it's extreme temperatures.
Yeah.
So whilst they're rated at a certain temperature, it's the extreme of those temperatures. So someone said, would you do Route 66? We did Route 66.
Tiny bit.
Briefly bits of it, because it's not a route you can really take anymore. Part of it is now a highway, so it's a bit difficult, but we did Route 66, and if you watch the American vlogs, you'll see parts of Route 66 in there.
It was supposed to be the whole thing. It was for John's big birthday, but then things happened then as well, didn't they? So yeah.
What power bank would you use for a kettle and fan heater? It depends on the rating of them. If it's under a kilowatt, you can use the what's it called now, the EB 1500 or the EB 240, because that's got a kilowatt inverter, or the new AC 200, which is the one I'm testing at the moment, has got a 2 kilowatt inverter, so that'd kill it. I mean, we're testing it at the moment. Mandy's making coffees of it, so that's how good it is. It's running coffee maker and all.
It literally is only being used for making coffee.
Yeah. I want to see how fast it goes down using Mandy's, because Mandy makes a lot of coffees, as you know. So, and every time she makes a coffee, it's a 1.5 kilowatts, so it takes quite a bit out of it. So I just want to see how that goes. But it's a lot of money. It's 2.5 grand, something like that. So, which brings me on to the next question. Sorry, John, do you have to convince Mandy before you can get the upgrades for the van? When it's cold, Mandy doesn't need convincing to get a heater, and when we got no power, she didn't need to be convinced to get an extra B2B.
I didn't get asked though. I didn't. Although saying that, you'll see on quite a lot of the videos, and a little bit of spoiler for the next video, you see John turn around and say, Mandy doesn't know this yet, but, and that's normally how it happens. And what the deal is with us both is we both know we're not daft, and we both know we won't spend money we've not got and do anything like that. So it literally just is, if John thinks we need them, then we need them.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
money.
Dead simple.
It's money we've got. It's not like credit card and stuff like that.
No, so we save up well. We're very careful with money and things, and we're not incredibly frivolous, even though it might seem sometimes that we do buy extra things that we need, but we're not frivolous, but we have gadgets, which is the compromise with it all. But yeah, and it's just easily done. And to be honest with you, if he did, he would be talking to me all the time, and I'd never get any peace and quiet, because I'd be going, man, can I buy socks? Maybe you should do that, because then I could check your order and make sure you don't overbuy and do something. And we'll have to get Ash's address off him, because they look like quality ski socks.
Yeah. But
yeah, but no, we don't worry about stuff like that.
You should park at Lou and Emily's drive, as they don't have a camper van at the moment, and they will cook for you.
They actually did offer.
They did actually.
On the way up.
They're in isolation, and so would we.
Yeah.
So we would literally be waving at each other through the window.
Yeah, it particularly wouldn't have been that good. Although saying that, we'd also be very close to Joan, and Joan makes a mean veggie casserole and fresh bread, as we've seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we missed out on something there. But yeah, if it wasn't for lockdown, then we probably would have gone up. How's my juggling going? Badly. I was hoping, while we were with Em and Lou, I was hoping that Lou would be able to help me learn how to juggle, and she gave me some pointers for what to do. I'm so uncoordinated, I can't even do Zumba. It's ridiculous. So I didn't get anywhere with that. And then, because we were going to spend like a week or so with Martin, and I'm thinking, oh, Martin can juggle, maybe I can ask Martin to give me a few pointers. And then we were there for one day and had to leave. So I'm back to YouTube videos, but I've been, doing the usual assistant in for John, which has been like, hold this wire here for 5 minutes, which is what I get to do. Although I did put the little diesel-y thing in the
fuel nozzle in the fuel tank for the diesel heater. Which brings me on to another question. Someone said, did you install your diesel heater yourself, or was it put in the build? No, I installed it today.
Today!
At -1 outside. So yeah, in the snow.
Yeah, yeah, that was so much fun.
Lying on snow is quite cold.
And I just stay, so I'm sat in the van and I've just got like pants and a long sleeve top on, and then I go and put a pair of tracksuit bottoms and a jumper over the top of that, and then I go out and get my onesie and put my onesie on top of that. And we've got these, one of the parcels that came because we have nothing that's waterproof, really waterproof, since we went paddling on Holy Island. I've got really not got anything that's as good as that. So we've just got some like mucking out boots kind of thing, aren't they? Just like
really
heavy duty waterproof,
lined with fleecy line and all that kind of stuff,
and they're really good. So I put them on as well. So I've been nice and snuggly, but just staying out of the way a little bit.
Bob Earnshaw, hi Bob.
Hi Bob.
Just noticed you said diesel heating in a motorhome sounds such a good idea. Yes, Truman now do. It's called a 6DE, so it's a replacement of the 6E. Yes, it's diesel, and I've been in contact with them for months now, and got really fed up with the fact that they weren't bothered to take my phone calls. I was on to all the different directors, technical directors and all that, trying to ask what's the compatibility, because I've got a 6E. Can I just drop in the 6DE and then we're off and we're good? They're £2,500, mind. So bearing in mind I paid £89 for my Chinese diesel heater, which is working fine and took us just a few hours to install today. So yeah, theirs is £2,500. And what I've actually found out through other people that have seen them in the flesh and that, is that they're not interchangeable. So you'd have to install, well, you'd have to cut different holes in the side of your motorhome, and you'd have to install different elements inside as to the control systems. So wherever your current Truma box is, that's got to be exchanged, including they've even made the cable different to it as well, so you can't just swap out the actual fascia and all that kind of stuff, which is probably why they didn't want to tell me, because maybe I'd say something on YouTube that they'd be miffed with me about. So that's why we didn't go down that route, really. Not because they didn't get in touch, but because for £2,500 it isn't a simple job at all. So there we go.
Where are you from?
Manchester.
We're from Manchester.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, we're from Manchester. And we grew up probably about 2 miles away from each other.
Yep.
And ended up meeting at my sister's house, which was strange.
It was.
It was, but good. You know, I let him off.
Let me off.
I'll let you off.
I wasn't going there to see your sister. It wasn't like that.
No. It was you were a friend of my sister's boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was one of those small world things. Went to the same high school as me as well, but it was like 3 years ahead of me. So it was just, it was meant to be. Apparently, we should be sponsored by Coke and San Miguel. So if we could get a sponsorship from anybody,
I want to be sponsored by.
Don't show your tit.
Stop swearing. It's a family channel.
It's a family channel.
I want to be sponsored by Under Armour.
Yeah, do you want to be sponsored by Under Armour? I'd like to be sponsored by coffee. Nespresso would be wonderful.
Can I get sponsored by Jack Daniels?
Yeah. Or anything. We're not
Someone
sponsored
said-
by anybody.
Someone said we should be sponsored by BF Gutrich after all the tyres and everything we've been sort of saying. Oh, yeah, you got to get these tyres.
Yes, actually, we are sponsored by our members, and this is not one of those cheesy roll into things to say, but thank you to every one of our members. If you can see them in the chat, their name's in green and they've got a little badge next to the name.
Yeah.
And we've had a few new ones recently, so welcome to all our new members, and thank you. And I'm sorry that the only thing you get at the minute for members is you get to see the videos half a day before everybody else. Literally, as soon as John's finished editing, he releases it to the members, and then it's scheduled at the normal time for everybody else. So that's all we can do. So I'm sorry there's not really that many bonuses, but we're very, very thankful that you're there. So thank you.
Much appreciated. Somebody else says they've got the Remis blinds and they still have to use a screen. Strange enough, the Remis blinds that I bought and installed on our last van weren't thermally lined, but these are. I don't know if it's a different make, or I don't know if it's because they're older or more expensive or whatever, but literally there's no cold coming through them at all. I can touch them and they are not cold, whereas if I touch them, they're not too cold either.
No,
but if you drop these side pleated blinds, you feel the cold straight away.
Definitely. We've had them up during the day because we've been feeling so much cold because the snow's been coming in this way at the back. Just going back to my anxiety a little bit. I have tried mindfulness. I did a mindfulness course, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
And that is really good.
What's it called?
CBT.
CBT.
And I've also done my CBT motorbike training.
Yeah, which is confusing.
Yeah, but there's also I don't even know what it's called. It's called compulsory basic training, but yeah, I've done CBT for mindfulness, and that is really good. That does help a lot. I've tried CBD oil. The one thing I've taken for ages, and I'm not even sure if it's a placebo now because I'm that overthinking about if I stop taking this supplement then I'm going to get worse, so I keep taking it even though I don't know if it's helping or not. It's St. John's wort. I've had that for years, and I've always taken that, and I take a premenopausal tablet, but that's got loads of the B vitamins and things, and it's got magnesium and all sorts of stuff like that is really supposed to be good for your mental health and keeping everything as it should be. So there's stuff like that. So yeah, it's good stuff, but there's lots of nice things. I wish I could catch it all, but it's just absolutely whizzing up my screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep hold of everything. The one that I'm trying to do at the moment is, if it's still possible and things are restricted to travel, will you still be heading to Scandinavia this year? Yes, as long as it gives us enough time before it all turns ash pollard kind of crazy and snowy. We'd like to go there when it's not minus more than 5. We were all right in the mountains in Spain when it was -5 for a few days, but what Ash has been putting up with lately with -30 for like weeks and weeks and weeks, it's not our thing. I'm a bit old for that, I'll have to admit to.
Yeah, well, you are old, aren't you? So, you know.
Oh, here's a good one. What gadget do you regret buying? Off the top of my head, I can't think. There's been plenty. Plenty of them. GoPro Hero 5, 6, 7 and 8, because they kept crashing. It's the only one I can think of. And what are you going to
say? Someone asked about addresses for driving licenses and stuff.
Yeah, we use a care of address as a family member, because there used to be something called post box or something, PO box or something else, and there was one set up for narrowboat owners who could have this post delivered there, and then apparently something changed in the law whereby you could no longer use a virtual address. Apparently this company then takes that on case by case, so you can apply, but it's not guaranteed like it used to be. So we use a care of address, and we write C/O, so they know it's a care of address and we don't live there, and that's been fine. They've accepted that.
Yep, no one's had a problem with that at all, have they? Apparently Shepherd's Farm do a takeaway Terminator breakfast.
Do they?
So when we're out of isolation,
I have to drive there.
I need a curry and a KFC first. That's all I've been saying to people. I am desperate for we had a KFC in Spain and they don't do gravy, because why wouldn't you have gravy? Although Tash is on the no gravy thing, honestly, because, you know, Southerners. Sorry for any Southerners, but it's a gravy thing.
Way to upset everyone.
Yeah, everybody. Gravy on your chips. You have to have gravy on your chips and gravy on your chicken and gravy on everything, and KFC gravy is life, and I've not had it for like 3 months, so I need a KFC, and I need a curry. So we've already looked, and Uber Eats will deliver here, which is unusual because most of the places that we stay don't have anything that's close enough to do an Uber
delivery
Eats.
And that. Yeah. So I'll have to see. Here's a question for you. Someone's asked me as well. I said John and Mandy, but it's really for you. Which country have you enjoyed the best ingredients for either your meals or meals out?
Oh. Meals out.
Meals out? No, which country though?
Which country?
Yeah.
I prefer meals out everywhere.
That wasn't the question. Which country have you preferred for the ingredients?
Oh. Spain.
Spain.
Yep. France.
No, I think I'm going to say France.
France.
Yeah.
Yeah, France. Definitely France.
Yeah. Where's the other big fella with a motorhome? Baz or Darren Urban Motorhome, whichever you want to prefer. I prefer Baz because he doesn't like it. He is currently working his little tush off, delivering goods for everybody at the company he works for, and hasn't unfortunately got the time to do videos as well. But he will be back soon with a little video.
Someone's asked us if we're going to drop gadgets at all. We seem to have picked it up as a nickname.
Yeah, obviously I have the YouTube channel Gadget John, as I have done for about 6 years. And when we started our second channel to do all the camper van stuff, Mandy wasn't that interested in being involved so much. So I called it Gadget John on Tour, because I was really in front of the camera most of the time. And then...
And I was up for that, because again, even at that point, I really wasn't. You just wanted to do something with the motorhome, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I'll just come along, obviously.
So around lockdown time last year, we got a lot of grief from people about mainly sort of people just blowing the minds because they were fed up, but a lot of it was people having to go at me, essentially saying, is my ego so big I can't include Mandy's name in our YouTube channel and all that? So that's why we changed to John and Mandy on Tour.
Yeah, and it wasn't about that. We sat down. I mean, we sat down with Dave and Mevy and went through the Gadget John on Tour thing about what to do and what was best about that, because it was like our surname adventures, and we went through loads of different things, and it was a bit different.
So that's why we were affectionately called the Gadgets for a while. So.
And we don't mind that.
No, call us the Gadgets if you want. I was going to name the channel the Gadgets, and then Mandy went no.
Yeah, I like the thing. Someone's asked if we're still using the bikes.
Well, not right now.
They're not with us.
We didn't take them to Europe because we wanted the weight to carry all the food and extra stuff for Coop. And we had an idea that we might do other things, which like we bought the kayak and that kind of stuff, so we did it for weight saving. We do like to stick to our allocated weight for the van and not run it too much over. So, Mandy, what coffee maker do you have?
I have an espresso machine. I don't know which kind. I've got two.
Yeah, is it the Krups one or something?
Yeah, I think this one's a Krups one, and then the other one is the other one, DeLonghi, I think it is. But it's the very simple ones, not the fancy ones with the milk frother and all of that on the side. It's just a very narrow little thin jobby, and I love it. I love it. And Mercadona in Spain do the recyclable aluminium capsules, 20 for €3, which is a bargain.
Martin Fields just said, not frivolous, but John's just got 8 pair of socks. But I thought I was only buying 2.
Underwear doesn't count, because he's just ordered me some as well.
Where's your favourite beach park up? That would be a name I cannot pronounce, Tijsveld or something like that, or Romo Beach, and they're both in Denmark. The Tijsveld one, because it was very isolated, quite remote, and had all the services there apart from electric, but you can empty your toilet, you can get water, you can have a shower, loads of beach space, a little town nearby with a restaurant and a beach bar and all that. But loads of space, do what you want, lovely area. Romo, you got to go to Romo. If you're ever in Denmark during the summer, go to Romo. It's like Burning Man for camper vans. It's amazing.
And they have these massive big kites that they anchor to their cars because they're that big, and you can drive along the beach and it's just this massive big line of these magnificent kites that are hundreds of feet up in the air, and they are massive. They're bigger than the cars that are anchoring them down. Absolutely brilliant, Romo Beach. Wonderful place.
Someone's asked what cameras, internal and external. I've got plenty of videos on that. Internal, we use 2 Neos cameras, Neos Smart Cam I think they're called. One to look in the van that way, so from the windscreen to the back of the van, so we can keep an eye on anyone coming in, and also if we leave Coop in the van we can keep an eye on him. I use another PT, that's pan tilt, like a 360 cam. It can move around there. They're all Wi-Fi cameras, and that sees the door and over the bed, so if Cooper moves to either side of the bed, between the 2 cameras we can see him. And then I've got another Neos Smart Cam which covers the screen of the internal or the external monitors, but it's not CCTV I suppose like it's internet. They are just 4 cameras that are shown just on that screen, one at the front, one at the back, and one looking down either side. And that Wi-Fi camera looks at the screen so I can view it remotely. But like I say, I've got videos of all that kind of security stuff on there, so you can see that on the channel.
And what he's been trying to do is getting the app for the camera that goes for the back, so we can see the exterior cameras to work on the
new head unit,
the head unit at the front. So that's the latest thing he's trying to do, because that means we can see it from here, which is brilliant. Which
might upset loads of people because I might be changing the head unit again.
Just a slightly different version of it, but you know.
So that runs more recent Android apps. How's the engine oil consumption? Very minor is all I can say. It's something that I still can't quite fathom out. I did buy another 4 litres in Spain, no, Portugal. I think I put it on the video when we got the fuse, when I blew the fuse for the inverter.
Yeah.
I got 4 litres of it then. I've topped up with another litre, and I've not lost anything since. The only reason I topped up with another litre at that point was because when we topped up with 2 litres before, it still only came up the gauge about halfway. So I put another litre in there, so it's kind of like about 3/4 of the way up the little dipstick now. So other than that, it's been fine. So we've done 1,600 miles to get back, and it's not used any oil. So,
which is always good.
Yeah. Seen your new welly boots today. Oh, on the Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
When you kick Coop.
When I kick Coop, yeah, my welly boots are awesome.
Yeah, that was something to say actually. If you want to follow what we're up to in real time or delayed by a day or two, go follow us on Instagram. We are John Mandy on tour.
John Mandy on tour.
There's not an and in there, it's just John Mandy on tour.
So Heinz or Cross and Blackwell beans, Heinz beans all the way, or Branston beans. We don't do Cross and Blackwell, but they're the two that we do. We do live in the van. Someone's asked if we live in a van full time. Yes, we have no house. We live in a van full time. Somebody else has asked if we ever regret selling the house, and we had a bit of a chat about this the other day, saying that the only thing that we do miss is for Cooper's benefit, is for him to have more room to stretch out and to have the back garden to go out in, so we know we can't, because we can't just let him out, you know, we've got to keep an eye on him. And that's literally it. We don't miss the house.
No.
We're getting used to showering less. There is that.
We're not kind of stinking.
No, it's not
like
stinking,
that.
but you just kind of you're more aware of it. It's
Have
like
a flannel wash instead.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to somebody about cooking the other day, about the pasta that I do, where I cook the pasta in stock and make it into a sauce in the frying pan. And that to me, because otherwise you boil pasta and you waste the water. So when you have to get your water yourself, it's not just running out of a tap. You're far more aware of stuff like that. So once you've been doing it for a bit, it just becomes easier. But yeah, I don't regret selling the house. I'm glad we did in this pandemic, because I don't know what would have happened to my job, and John's not had any extra work since.
We would have been screwed-ish.
We would have been really
financially
worried.
Bad.
Yeah. So it's nice because we've not had those. We've had different worries, but we've not had those ones.
Do you find that you have a maximum amount of time in one place before you get bored and get itchy feet? Yes. Mine is probably 3 days, 3-4 days. If the spot is absolutely amazing and it's got everything possibly that you could ever want, maybe 5 or 6 days. Mandy, if it's got a beach, it's warm, we're not being bothered by where we parked, and there's a bar nearby, Mandy had to live there. She'd even asked for a job at the bar to kind of like
to
make sure we stayed longer.
Yeah, that is very true. And if we had lots of coffee power of solar, then yeah, I'm in there and I'm not going anywhere. Someone else has asked, it's about 4 times I've seen this now, about if one of us sleeps in the bed while we're driving. No. One, because I don't know if it's legal.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if we're allowed, but we don't do it. I mean, I have been known to get up and go for a wee, and get up and get drinks out of the fridge and stuff. But we sleep in the front seat, especially if we're abroad, because you never know when somebody's going to come, and they always go to the passenger side anyway. But with our van, the beds are the furthest distance away from the rear axle.
Yeah.
And that, I think that would probably put too much strain on the thingy-majiggies and what sits up there.
Yeah. But it'd be like having a ride on the back of a bus.
Yeah, I don't
think
it would.
Bow, all the time.
I can't see it being particularly comfortable back there at all. So yeah.
Someone's asked, is the diesel heater freestanding or self-contained in a separate box? Blah blah blah. It's not one that's all boxed with its own fuel tank and everything, and the controller's all built on the box. It's not one of those. It's the stereotypical heater unit, where you have an exhaust pipe and an air intake, then they go outside through the floor. It's got a separate tank which is in the garage and a separate control panel, and it then has a little vent on the front which we've actually connected into all the heating ducts around the van from the original Truma system, so it acts just like our Truma system does.
Someone's asked if we should be drinking a local beer instead of San Miguel. Now we're back in, now we're in the Midlands anyway. And because we stocked up in Spain, we have stocked up with San Miguel and Spanish food. So I've got lots of chorizo and manchego cheese and lovely Spanish mantequilla and baked breads and all the beautiful Spanish food that we need. So once we've got through all of that, then yes, we will be buying more local things. But we can't go out and buy anything, can we? So we'll eat what we've got, and then yeah, we'll get cracking on the local stuff.
Someone's mentioned about the messages on Instagram about sending us something. I haven't got anything. I've replied to everyone I've seen on Instagram. I don't really go on the Gadget John account, so if it's the Gadget John account who's messaged me, I won't see. I don't give out my private account, so only really get in touch if you're going to get in touch via the John Mandy on Tour account, and usually I will reply in a couple of days or so. Sorry it's not quicker, but I do get a lot of messages on there.
Someone's asked if we've had the camembert yet. We have had the camembert because it made the van smell like a teenage boy's bedroom.
Every time we open the fridge, it's like...
we're just like, oh, we've got to eat that. So yes, we did.
But it was the stinkiest stuff I've ever had, in the fact that as I was eating it and it was slightly cooling down, yes, it was.
When you get that smell and it kind of stabs you in the back of the nostrils because it's that strong, it was like that. And we had a whole camembert each because we ate fat buggers, didn't we?
Well, it wasn't a big one.
It really wasn't. It
was.
That's
what she said.
It was.
It was a big one. No, it was about yay big.
It was
so,
it was a normal size one, yeah.
Yeah. John and Mandy, how did Mandy's Instant Pot do if you didn't have it on hookup?
It's great.
Fine.
It uses for an average, which is my average thing I cook is about 20 minutes. So it's 10 minutes to get up to pressure, 20 minutes cooking, and then obviously once it's switched off, you don't have to worry about that. It uses about, would you work out 6% of the batteries? I don't know what that means. There is a video somewhere.
It used 22 amps. 22 amp hours of our battery capacity.
Yeah.
For making a 20 to 25 minute meal.
Yeah. So it is, as long as you've got solar, we don't mind using it at all. And normally, if we're getting, if we do a shop, I'll put like potatoes and eggs in there, so we can have boiled eggs. And then if you cook the potatoes, then it takes less time. If you're making wedges or chips or whatever, just keep them in the fridge. So it's great for prepping, to make things a bit easier for your gas consumption, because obviously if you can cook it quicker, you don't use as much gas. And if electricity is free because of solar, then it's worthwhile doing bits like that. But yeah, as soon as we get enough, I don't know if it's going to be for a while yet, or if we, once after isolation, if we move to a campsite, we're going to do some hot pot, good old Manchester hot pot.
Well, we can try out on the Blue Yeti.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That'll be in the next video then.
Yeah. Someone said, are you thinking of changing your sat-nav? Has it ever sent you down the wrong road? Strangely enough, yes. We were on the way to, it wasn't our last vlog, it was the one before that, where we went to that Spanish town, is it El Rojo? El Rocio or something like that. And the sat-nav was saying it's 30 minutes to go. The junction was saying it's right there now. So I looked at it and went, forget you sat-nav. We turned left, went down the road like half a mile, and it said, oh, 2 minutes till arrival. So yes, this Garmin 770, I think it is, has, without fail, on every trip, given us some sort of hiccup. It's a great one at diverting you to a very safe route for your motorhome that you've put your dimensions in and all that kind of stuff. But it kind of plays on the side of, if it can't tell if that road, and a lot of roads in Europe are not classified, if it can't tell that road's classified for your motorhome, it won't send you down it. For example, we went down one Portuguese road and the sat-nav was saying you got to turn around because the road's too narrow in 7 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 1 kilometer. We got to the point and it was a bridge, like all the other bridges we crossed. There was no difference in it, but the sat-nav for some reason decided no, it was too narrow. Bearing in mind, I'm not being funny about it, but in Spain and Portugal you won't really find that many signs that'll tell you how low a bridge is that's coming up to, or how narrow a road is. What you might find is some sort of bar across the top of the road with some dangly chains on it, and I guess that's if you hit it, don't go any further, and that's about as much as you get. So in the UK, the Garmin is better, but where it doesn't have those classifications and you've turned it onto motorhome mode, it's not that great. So we ended up putting it on car mode, and then it was loads better. People are talking about buying. Oh, you know, I'm only up to the baked beans.
Joint. Someone's telling me to smoke a big long joint. Apparently.
Okay, maybe that's not great for your anxiety though.
No, it wouldn't be better afterwards, I'm sure.
No.
Someone's asked about your steering lock. We get that a lot, don't we?
Yeah, steering lock's not made anymore. It was a Halford's own brand one. There are others that are similar to it, and I've listed them on the website so that you can see, but strangely enough, they don't really make it. But I just think
You've had that for like 15 years. That is a well used.
My thing is, make your van appear like it's the worst.
The hardest thing to
get
into.
The worst vehicle to approach, to break into. Either it's the hardest, or it's the one that's going to get them into trouble, the one that will take the longest for them to get what they want out, or something like that. And that's the only advice I can really. If somebody wants to get in your van, they'll get in. It doesn't matter what you do. You can put locks on everything, metal plates on, extra deadlocks. You can do all that kind of stuff, but you've got glass and plastic, and you've got roof lights. People will get in if they want to. So that's the only thing I'd really say. And don't forget, these things are built out of aluminium and fiberglass, so anything like a still saw or even a multi-tool, you can just drill through the side, cut a hole, and you're in. So it's just sad, unfortunately.
Oh, we've got a new member. It's just name's just gone off my screen.
Oh,
and my finger on it and everything. Steve, welcome, Steve. Oh, we looked at Boat Mail, and Boat Mail wouldn't do it. I don't know why.
Boat Mail's the same as that other company. It's all the one company. They've just got different names.
Yeah, someone said that you've been using them for 4 years.
Maybe if you're a pre-existing customer, but they're not accepting a new one because the UK driving licence and V5 stipulate now that when you register the vehicle at the address, it's got to be an actual address, not a virtual one.
Right. Oh, I'm just getting to the chips bit. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I've just got to that as well.
Get your gravy on your chips.
John, did your van have a Sergeant system when you bought it? No, this one's got, I can't remember, but it's a German system in there. I'm sure if other people are on here, if Geeky Phil's on here, I don't know if I've seen Phil, but he'll tell you exactly what it is. But it's a German system, far better but more complicated than the Sergeant system. It's got a B2B 20 amp B2B in there, a 20 amp mains charger, and it looks after all the internals and measures all the sensors about water levels and all that other kind of stuff. And it's pretty good in the fact that the new B2B or the old B2B or the solar, when it's finished charging the leisure batteries, whatever's left it sends back through to the vehicle battery, the starter battery as well, so it keeps all that topped up. So it's a pretty good system, something the Sergeant system never did.
So I'm everybody's saying, and I'm sorry for being so behind, did you see the programme about KFC? I think it might put you off the gravy. Did you see the programme about KFC and how they made the gravy? Did you see how it was made? It put me off. Mandy, watch the programme on Channel 4 and how it shows KFC gravy being made. Guess what programme Mandy's never ever watching? Outside, out of mind. Literally, that would do me fine. Everybody was avoiding McDonald's when they said they had cow poo in the burgers, and I'm thinking as long as it's well cooked cow poo, I don't care.
Someone said they feel more confident in a factory van with factory windows. Don't forget they're a single glazed safety glass, so they'll shatter. Just like your side windows in your van, you can walk up with a hammer or anything like that, even a key. So I've seen people punch a window through, and that's all you'll get on your panel van as well. So they're just as vulnerable. Like I say, the windows are so big you can get someone through them, and there's lots of people who've had the vans done over from just having the window put through. So it's just an unfortunate thing. Go with your gut where you park it. Don't leave it anywhere that you think is entirely dodgy. For example, on our last trip last year with Greg and Lou, there were several places where we'd go to do the laundry, so we'd use those Speed Queens, which are in sort of city centres or town centres and stuff like that, and I would stay with the vans, and there's been too many occasions where I've seen people at the windows and trying doors, and on the van I'm sat in at the table with the window blind down so I can be seen, and they've tried that, and they've tried it on Greg's van and that. So yeah, it's awful. But obviously we all know why they want to nick our vans, because they're jealous and they want everything that we've got.
Well, yeah. Someone's asked how to become a member.
I don't know whether it's in this video description. Yes, it is. So if you're in the video now, there's a little down arrow on the right hand side. Click that and you can see the video description, and it says become a channel member, and then there's a link there.
The burgers. So someone's mentioned the burgers in Spain.
Oh, I do miss them burgers.
Oh my goodness. That was, I mean, everyone kept saying heart attack on a plate, and it would have been if you'd had that every single meal, but they were literally the best burgers we have ever had.
Yeah.
Ever had.
Someone's mentioned about, have you protected the OBD port? Makes no difference because there's bypasses for that. You can't actually protect it. All you protected is the plug. People can still plug into it elsewhere in the van. I don't know if you know that, but there's 3 diagnostics ports around most vehicles. It depends on the Euro 5 or 6 version. So it's honestly, there's loads of ways. If you go on YouTube and say Fiat Ducato broken into or Fiat Ducato driven away, and you'll see how the pros tell you how they do it and how it can be done, and then you'll realize that it's not worth you spending all that kind of money protecting it. Get an alarm, do all those things, put cameras on the outside. We've got stickers that say CCTV. We've got the immobilizer lights that are everywhere around the front windscreen, so when it is immobilized they flash. As much as you can as a visual deterrent, really. That's what I'd say to spend money on.
Somebody has it's gone off my screen again. I've forgotten what I was going to say. Cozy has asked if I've managed to get any Coke from Aldi to try the Aldi's version. We've not had a chance to go anywhere in the UK until the 21st, so after that once we do shopping, I'll be going back to Aldi again, so I'll get some and try it then.
It was a weird one, that, wasn't it? Because Aldi over here we like, and it's got loads of stuff in there. Aldi over there, and I say France, Spain and Portugal is over there, was nowhere near as good as it is in the UK. In fact, Lidl's was better over there than Lidl's is in the UK. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Don't understand that one.
Weird.
Where would you stay if your van broke down and needed recovering for repairs? Airbnb or hotel?
Yeah.
If we couldn't stay in the van for whatever reason, then yeah, Airbnb or a hotel.
The explorers have asked, how much power does the coffee maker do? Hi, Nick and Sarah, by the way.
Hello, guys. Oh yeah, I've seen you leak in your house as well.
Yeah, how's that doing? Good job you're actually back there to deal with all of that, though, wouldn't it? That's a bit fate-ish.
Just thinking then. How much power does it use? This one that Mandy's preferring isn't great, in all fairness. It's 1.5 kilowatts. So I think it runs at what was that now? It's about 122 amps thereabouts. Whereas the older one that she had is much more economical and only takes about 1.1 kilowatt and about 100 amps. That's obviously straight out of the battery. However, it literally pulses the element on and off to boil the water. So usually from taking a proper cup, I don't know if you can actually see, but not like a little mini cup, but a proper cup's worth of coffee, it takes about 5.5 amp hours of power out of the battery. It's not a lot, in all fairness.
No.
It's a sacrifice that I'm willing to take.
He says plugging all these things in.
Yeah.
I tell you. Oh dear. It's
Are you still enjoying the freeway cola?
Have you noticed though that you've been asked, like John's answering all the techie questions and I'm just covering food? It's just
that's everyday life.
Yeah, that's just standard. Standard. No dear. See, we're having the usual dinner versus lunch thing again. It is breakfast, dinner and tea. That is the way it is. But forever. The end.
The end. End of. Okay.
End of.
And let's not talk about pants or trousers.
No, we're not doing it.
So yes, John, are you still doing freeway cola? Yes, actually, and Mandy's got some proper Coke Zero left over, and she brings one of each to the table every time, and I'm choosing the freeway cola all the time now.
Yes, he is.
Because you can't tell the difference, so therefore I might as well just get used to it.
Yeah, because that's what we've got in the boot, because we went to Lidl in Spain.
Yeah.
There's the first thing, so...
I'd be gutted if the one sold in the UK doesn't taste the same.
Oh, can you imagine that? Oh, we did try freeway orange, thinking it might be like Fanta, but it's spicy. It's so fizzy that it hurts your tongue. It's like spicy. John's like, what do you mean it's spicy? It's like, well, everything's spicy at the minute. But yeah, it's the weirdest orange. It's not orangey enough. It's not like a rounded. It's just.
No,
it's literally
weird.
just spicy.
And spicy, Mandy uses like I would sort of describe a curry. What she actually means is it just tastes wrong.
It's on your tongue like that.
There you go.
Spicy.
2 new members.
No.
Clive Hudson. I'm going to do it before it goes. Clive Hudson and Cozy 2 living off grid.
Oh, Cozy.
Yeah,
oh,
thank
cheers,
you very much.
buddy. And Clive and everybody. I love seeing all the green names. No,
Everybody or everybody?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. we need to find them a name because lots of people have names. The Combi Life
have the
Combi crew.
Well, we've got Team GGOT. That's as catchy
Oh
as
yeah,
I
that
could
just
think
rolls
of.
off the tongue. Team GGOT. We'll work on that one.
Yeah. Right, that's been almost 2 hours.
Wow, that's gone really quick, and I've only had 1 beer.
Well, that needs to be sorted out then, doesn't it?
It really does. Are you going to get me a beer? You're not, are you? Well, you can't because of the way we've had to set up the camera on the table. Do you need another drink?
No, I'm all right, actually. I've not been drinking mine as much as you. Oh, someone said, what are you drinking, John? I've got a weird flask system. So I have 2 of these flasks. I like cold drinks more than hot drinks. The plain one there that's got no labels on it is usually a soft drink. So tonight, as you can see, I've got the labelled one. I think I'm drinking Jack and Coke at the moment, if I remember rightly.
I was going to write something down there.
I'm just going to write something down.
Somebody asked about doctors. Why don't you tell them the story about doctors?
What about doctors?
About
normally
how
they go
you
through training and then they fix people if they can.
Funny.
And then they get paid loads of money. Actually, it's really funny because there's been some sort of mistake at Eurotunnel, and every time I turn up at Eurotunnel, it calls me Dr. John and then my surname.
It's funny as anything, isn't it?
What about doctors?
About how to get doctors when we're on the road if we're not near where we're registered, kind of thing.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, when we bought this van, about 2 or 3 days later, I had a really bad problem with my shoulder. I couldn't move it, and it started to get red hot, and what I found is I had an infection under my armpit. So we rang the local doctor's surgery. They said to register as a temporary patient. So you go in there, fill in a form to register as a patient, which gives you, was it 2 months or something like that?
It was, I think you got 2 weeks to use a doctor's, and if it was after that, you had to register permanently.
Right, okay. So you got a limited amount of time, maybe a couple of weeks, couple of months, at which time you could use the surgery just like it was your normal surgery wherever you've been registered with. And they were able to give me a prescription. He gave me, because it was the time of when COVID was coming in, so he even gave us some masks and that. So yeah, it was as easy, if not much easier, than getting
an appointment at your normal doctor's. Yeah, because we used to wait a week.
Oh, it's crazy. Whereas this place was just, yeah, no problem, come in, fill in a form, bosh, and off you're done. No issues whatsoever. So can't really say there's been any hiccups about living in the van with not requiring, or where people have required an address. As far as deliveries are concerned, you know, government, I pay my taxes and they managed to get hold of me and tell me when my taxes are due. Insurance companies have been fine, breakdown covers have been fine, mobile phone bills, all that kind of stuff, so it's been alright really, isn't it?
Yeah. Someone's asked what size water tank we've got.
We've got 120 litres fresh water.
And we've got like a reserve thing. We had to screw a little thing to make it bigger.
Yeah. Hey, twiddle your knob. Oh dear me.
Oh, you know, we've got some more members.
Yeah, camper van Chris.
Oh, nice one. See, now you can now you're paying to slate John all the time about his Amazon orders. Oh dear, thank you, Chris.
Lock the driver's seat in the lounge position. Yeah, I've read that quite a lot actually, that people say if you've got a swivel seat, spin it around and there's usually a hole somewhere on the plate, get a really big padlock and just basically padlock it in a position where it can't be driven, and that's enough as a deterrent as well. So yeah, it's a pretty good one. We normally just leave all the blinds down everywhere we go if we're going to leave it, and then they can't see on our route to find out if there's anyone there. Then they usually look around, and then you can see them looking on the cameras, because if someone walks up to our van and we've left it, we get a ping on our phone as soon as it sees movement. So it's just how we've kind of worked it out.
Oh, Adie's on, asking about the door.
Oh,
We love our door. we might need just a tiny little bit of tweaking when we see you next.
Yes.
Nothing bad. I think it's just moved, or the drawer has moved. So just need your advice anyway, because it just catches.
So you know the drawer that pulls out under the hob, that now kind of slightly just touches the door for some reason.
And what it might be is that I've been leaning on the door a little bit. It's probably something like that that's made it move a little bit. But we don't want to mess too much as we're going to be seeing you.
But you'll be happy to know that our idea collectively, obviously you changed from what we'd planned to do, so you made it better. But Bursner are actually making the new ones like that now.
Yes, yes. So I see, well ahead of the game there. Absolutely. Oh, by the way, in AD, it's Adrian Gilliland. Sorry, AD. He's on here. He is All Things Timber.
Yes.
And he did the cupboard for us, and is currently ripping out the inside of the Whippet bus and redoing that as well. So if you go to watch All Things Timber on Instagram, you'll see what they're up to with Dave's van as well. So it's cool. Did I get anything size water tank? Someone asked me if I've been doing well facing my fears. Am I going to be doing any more? And I think getting in the kayak was one. Swimming in the sea on Christmas Day was another. I think the next thing is being in the kayak in the sea, you know, further away than like knee deep in the shoreline. But I think getting on a ferry, and I know seasickness is not anything that you can just get over, but I'm going to be trying my best, and there's a few videos I've seen that are really good for helping just keep focused and things, and that's a lot of the things with CBT and mindfulness. It's just a way of being focused and do so it's got to be a similar thing. And if it's not, I'll be sick, and that's it, and I'll figure it out. But at least I would have done it, and I would have tried to see what I can do to get around it. So I think that's going to be, and it seems like such a small thing, but that's my next thing. I think that's my I might have to wait a while for that one, for facing some fears there, but yeah. So, but thank you for asking. I've actually been really enjoying doing the little things. I mean, the amount of squealing I was doing when I got in the kayak for the first time was amazing, and I miss my kayak. Obviously, we can't do. There's a big puddle around the corner.
There is actually. I was just saying, if it keeps raining like it is, the fields around here, we could get the kayak in.
Absolutely.
Right, we're going to wrap it up in a little bit. Give us 5 or 10 minutes. So if you've got any really urgent questions or anything else, obviously whap them in there right now. We'll have a read. I just wanted to say a couple of new members again. Thank you very much. Irene King. Did you say hello to Campervan Chris?
Yes, we did Campervan Chris, thank you.
And Serendipity Wanderings as well. Thank you very much for joining.
Hi guys, thank you.
And did we get the MOT done? Not as yet, and we can't even book it yet because we're still in isolation. Quarantine.
Yeah, we can't do anything. We can't move apart from walking Coop, and we don't really walk Coop. We just kind of let him out the door for a little bit. And we're just pottering around outside the van doing things to the van until the 21st.
Yeah, 21st.
21st is when we can start doing things. We've been belt and braces because of this Portuguese thing. I'd hate to bring it back. So yeah, there's just that, and then we'll be going. Staffordshire oatcakes. Oh, I need to do that.
What are they?
I don't know, but apparently I need to do that. I've got oats and cakes in.
Someone's talking about UK Airs. Do you know of the expansion of it? I think the UK Airs Facebook group, which we did a video about a few months ago, they're coming on quite a lot. I think the issues they've got right now is obviously lockdown.
Yeah, they're getting hold of loads of councils. I went onto their website the other day and they've got loads of different things. So much so that there's a form on there that you can fill in and send to your local councils. And I've got a copy of that because there's a few that I want to speak to. Not that I think I've got any pull at all, but I figured that it's some things to get it to people's attention. And I've been speaking to a lot of people about the way to go about it and how to word it, because most councils will turn around and go, oh, it's for and I hate to use the term, but it's for the travelling community, gypsies, as they will quite openly call them.
That's what we get a lot of that, isn't it, though?
And they'll say that's what they're trying to stop. But to me, if there's an empty car park that they don't let people stay overnight on, if the people that they're worried about most wanted to park there, they park there. They don't need a sign saying camper vans available. They'll be there if they want to do it.
Yeah. So
what's the big deal?
We've both worked on industrial estates where someone will leave a tap outside or something like that and it'll be on. and then within a couple of weeks there's like 50 or 60 traveller vans there.
Yeah.
They just
and
break
you can see
through
why,
gates
because it's
and
somewhere
everything.
safe for them to be. The kids are running around on the bikes all day, and they've got fresh water, so it's what everything that they need. But yeah, it doesn't need to be a specific car park for stuff like that, where a lot of the time that's all we need. The Malverns, for instance, all the hills in the Malverns, they've got beautiful car parks with views. And if they just put a few bays in and just said, chuck a quid in a meter at night and gave specific bays, it wouldn't be a problem. They would literally get people in the shops in the morning going doing things, or staying local so they can go and see the Malverns, because everything around there is amazing. But so anybody that can do anything that will help, or go and give the people ideas on that website, that camper website, it is really good.
Facing your fears, letting John cook. Yeah, maybe. And then obviously as an additional to that, John, what are your fears? Mine are spiders and snakes.
Yeah, we don't want to go anywhere near them.
No. I think that's about it now. Caravanning with the Coxes, new member as well. Hello guys.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Any other question? Where did you get your cat from? This one with the ears.
I thought you said cat. I'm
No,
like, have we got a cat?
This one with the ears, which is pretty cool. Someone called me, what do you call him? But Brian guy who used to do the Channel 4 racing.
Oh no, it wasn't.
The beard.
It was John McCrick.
Oh yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put a link on the website in the next couple of days, or the next video or something like that. But it's off Amazon. Really cool.
And someone said if I've got my CBT, do I have a motorbike? We used to both have motorbikes. John actually built us some bobbers out of some 250 Super Dreams, which were amazing. But we had so many things to do at the time. We had the camper van, we had the motorbikes, we had Cooper and grandson, and it was, what are we going to do with the very rare weekends that we had no work to do? And the bikes always came down at the bottom of the list, so they went. But I don't think we'd want to take a motorbike with us anyway for anything that we're going, because we don't want to just zoom around and do things, because we've got to leave Coop. So if we didn't have Coop, which is touch wood and is going to stay around forever, it might be a different answer, but at the minute it's just not so much. So.
And AD, yes, we should get commission from Bursner for redesigning their rather crappy draw system.
Yeah, and let's see if they do it on the next one, the work in progress.
On the Nexo one.
The Nexo.
Oh dear me.
Oh dear.
Mandy, will you be trying scuba diving? Yes, one of our followers has actually offered us some scuba diving.
Yeah, us and Tash and John and Daz, they've offered us a pool scuba diving. It's like a
trial
session kind
or
of
something
thing,
like that.
which in a pool, I mean, I used to go and do all the swimming in the bottom of the pool when I was a kid. I'm a really good swimmer, which is weird that I don't like water, but yeah, I can't wait for that. So post-COVID, that is something we're very, very much looking forward to.
Someone said, book your MOT online. Yes, I could do that way, but I'm a bit of an old-fashioned guy, and I'll be going to our garage to talk to them and see them in their face before I take it there, to work out if they're the type of people where they'll always tell you there's something wrong and there's about 400 quid worth of stuff to be fixed, or whether they're the type of people which will, do an honest MOT. So I don't just pick a garage and book it online. And we're nowhere near where we used to live in our house, so I don't know anywhere around here.
No, we'd have to wait and see, and obviously we've got to get one that can do a motorhome 3.5 ton jobby anyway. The cookbook is underway, as weird as it seems, and if Nick and Sarah are still on, they can tell you about how hard it is just to try and get all the recipes down, because not only have you got to get them down, as everybody is that's cooking, you just kind of chuck little bits in, so you've then got to cook it again and pay way more attention than when you first did it, and put every single bit in. So even if you found it was a bit dry and you topped it up with a little bit of water, you've got to make sure that that's in the original recipe, as well as all the instructions and how many people it will feed and all of this stuff. So once you've got all of that, then we've got to cook them again, obviously record them again for a video, take pictures to make sure it all looks good and make sure it still tastes nice, then translate that into a book that looks fancy, because we're not just, if we're going to be charging people money, it's got to
right,
look good.
I just want to say, sorry to interrupt you, the part-time spanner, Baz is in the house.
Baz is in the house. Go give him some love, guys. Don't listen to me. But yeah, so it is in progress. It is just, there's lots of little steps to get through. However, what we are planning on doing as an interim thing, because as much as, you know, we like money, who doesn't like money?
Yeah, it's helpful.
I also get such a kick out of people telling me that they cook the food that I've made videos about.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it. So what we're going to do is, once we've collated all the information from the videos that we've done so far, we're going to put a page up on the website that will just be all the links. So it will be the meal, the video it's in, and the time in the video it's in. So if you then want to go and click on that to look at a certain meal, people that have been asking me recently about which meals are good for which thing, if they notice that I get back to them really quickly with an answer, that's because I've already logged them all, and I can tell you which vlog it is, or the vlog number and whatever. So that would be an interim thing if you need it. So there'll be a page on the website to go and have a look, and to be able to see what time in the video it is, so you don't have to watch the whole thing again. And then after that, obviously, we're both working on getting the book done as quick as we can.
Right. I think that is it. We're going to call it. I just want to say thanks for you all for joining. Thanks very much for our spanners tonight. I think it is Tash. And is it, do you reckon it's Em or Lou?
I think it might be both of them, because there's some comments that come up on both of them. Yeah,
because they've been working hard. I can see one particular account has been making them work hard quite a lot tonight.
Yes, but thank you for filling in. It's one good thing with spanners, when we're a spanner on anybody else's, not only is it good to make sure that if anybody comes along, because sometimes you get these Russian bots that come on and take over the channel and stuff like that.
Or people just swearing because they think it's funny or something like that.
So they can keep an eye on all of that, but they are people that know you well enough to be able to answer the questions for you, and they interact, because it's so hard when you've got all of these people and you don't want to miss the question. As soon as you miss the question, you're gutted, but because they will answer questions for you, it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. So thank you all.
So thank you,
my lovely ladies,
lovely spanners.
And Daz.
Daz. No, he's a girl as well. He's Baz now, isn't he?
Baz.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for all our new members as well. We really do appreciate your support. And the last question I got there was, is there a USB charger for the catcher window vac? Hang
on a minute, you can't say bye and then come in, and I'm like,
I'm just going to say no. You just chop the plug off and put a USB connection on the end.
Yeah, but Bex has asked about Cooper's paw. Cooper's paw is now fine after I butchered it.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, he's fine now. It's gone back to normal.
Yep. Right then, so thank you very, very much everyone for watching. Our normal video will be next Friday. On Tuesday, I'll be putting out a video which will either be the B2B install or the diesel heater, whichever one I get to edit in round first. And then Friday will be a normal video.
Yes.
So we shall catch you all next Friday in our usual kind of get up.
Yep, I'm absolutely blown away. Still 1,000 people on now. That is unbelievable. So thank you all so much. It's been a perfect way to spend a Friday night. Yep. So yes,
absolutely brilliant. So cheers to you all.
Cheers guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep.
Love you loads, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. You've got to go press that button there.
I've got to go and press that button there.
I don't know what the button is.
Ooh, there it is there.
It's there. It's there. Bye. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Oh my goodness.